Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Nightcap for February, or not February, oh my gosh, March 7th, 2022. I'm
Get
your
with the
host,
program.
Sean. Big Paul riding shotgun with me tonight.
What's up, everybody?
This whole night was programmed by Big Paul, so which is
Thank you.
usually, that's been a good sign. That's been a good thing lately, you know? You got
Well,
us the mermaid. You got
yeah,
us the
well, no,
mermaids.
no, no, no. Hagbard. He brought us the mermaid.
Well, he
So,
brought it to your attention, but you put together the dossier.
oh, absolutely,
The
absolutely.
dossier, which is what I can do, what I get to do if I have like on a good night. On a good
Yeah,
night, I get to go put the dossier together.
yeah. Well,
Oftentimes, it doesn't happen.
I just figured in the spirit of you and Prophet doing this durian rider diet, and we're also like one week into Lent. I was like, you know what? What's the most opposite thing of Lent to do, right?
That's true.
Let's get to gluttony, right? Let's get into this feeder business, which I didn't know. Like I always knew like what it was. Like I've heard of it, I've seen it,
You've
but
seen it.
I didn't know there was like a name for it, you know? So I don't know. So then I got inspired and like teared up some shit. So I'm excited to dive into it.
Do you? Yeah, it's been like a while. Especially, it came to my attention, like probably 10 or 12 years ago. It was on like one of those TLCs, My Strange Addiction, My Strange Sex
My
Kink, or
600
whatever.
pound wife,
Well,
things like that.
it was before that was a thing, and it was just a show. Specifically, one of the people that they follow were like this couple, and one of them was like a giant fat lady, and the other one was like the skinny black dude who would like who his thing was feeding her to death,
Right.
basically, and then he would take pictures of her, and they would post them online, and they were part of communities. Oh, they're a real fun bunch, the feeders.
It's so much to give. A lot of love, so much to give, man. And
I think actually I pulled up that old
oh,
TLC
did you?
clip too, because it's funny. It's like, they do their TLC reality show thing, so
Sure.
they definitely build it like some of this you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to laugh at, but it's so interesting like how far we've come in a world. Whereas
Mm.
like that was on like mainstream regular television. I don't know if you could get away with it in the same way today. Like now you have to have more of an empathetic kind of perspective, and you have to come from like, oh, we need to be understanding, and this is just a thing. Like some people are into this,
Right,
but
right.
back in like 2010, they were still like, look at these freaks.
Yeah, it's still slapstick, man. Like the concept of anti-bullying wasn't really there yet. It was on the precipice of being fully implemented, but there was still an element of we can say some shit. We can say some shit,
Yeah, we can have a little bit of fun with this. We can have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, but part of the lineup tonight too is like we're going to get like some nuanced, political correct verbiage associated with this particular movement, or
Oh
just
yeah.
like anything else in the scope of Nightcap, right? These communities and how they'll diverge, contrast, and just continue to split themselves into even smaller segments of themselves, right? To
Yeah,
be more
they
unique.
bifurcate themselves until they're going to get to the point where there's only going to be like one person in every group, and
Hmm.
every person gets to be the most victimized, the most have the most intense martyr complex because they're the only one. You know what I mean?
It's
That's just
really
it.
astounding. It's really astounding, man. So it's just not to get ahead of ourselves too, right? But it's just another thing. Like tomorrow night, we got a special guest from Denmark who's going to join us.
I don't know if we're live streaming that, but it will be
Well,
up
no,
on the
we're
channel.
not live streaming, but it
No,
just again, like
yeah,
in this space, like like we talk that we cover it all. We're going to cover it
yeah.
all.
We've been looking for an antinatalist to talk to, but look for it. It'll be either right up after we're done talking to him, depending on
Hmm.
how it goes. But I just don't know anything about this dude. I don't know if he's like a crazy person. I don't want him to try to get our channel taken down by
Hmm.
doing something crazy. And also, just to put it out on Front Street, if he is like a crazy mentally ill guy, like I'm not gonna
Yeah,
do
we don't
that.
want to showcase that, for
We're not gonna be there to like to fuck with him in that regard. But
no, 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 no.
oh, Hagbert's in the chat. What's up, Hagbert? He says it could use Cat Williams screaming "fatty, fatty 2x4." Yeah,
What's
this
up,
is
buddy?
yeah, yeah. Those bitches love me. Those bitches love a Big Mac. And he fucking dances around.
Seriously,
When was the
seriously.
last time you even heard the word Cat
Cat
Williams?
Williams.
Even heard
I
the
can't.
name?
I can't say. I can't say. I think when he played what the hell was his name? Yeah, it was the word. So I don't know, man.
Um, Cat Williams. Last time I heard about Cat Williams, he went like a little, like people said he went a little crazy. He got like very, he got basically sucked into the Hollywood Illuminati circle, and he wasn't having it. He didn't like it.
Oh, well, I hear the rumor is I'm not that elite, but the rumor is you got to be down to get down. And you got to be down with the butt stuff. You got to be a power bottom. At
Listen,
least at
this is
some
what they
point in your
say.
career.
There was a great time on YouTube. They're probably not anymore. And it was a bunch of like a lot of Christian black men, like just black guys that would like critique hip hop music videos and stuff.
Sure.
And they would break them down about how they're all occult stuff and about how every single famous person in Hollywood, especially black men, would have to be sodomized to be able to touch the crown. He went into this very long explanation about how you'd be brought into a back room. Denzel Washington had to do it. He's like, yep, even Denzel.
Even Denzel
had to take it.
Yeah. Oh, it didn't like that DMX guy like spiral off talking about that too, like a while back. There's like some, like yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's like a whole thing.
There's a whole. That would actually be another nightcap to see all like the rappers.
That'd be a D-Live one.
That went down the rabbit hole. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably. Yeah, have to get profit in on that one. Tommy's awesome says good evening. Good evening, Tommy's awesome. And Prophet says power outage. What did I miss? Nothing yet. We're just about to start. You're just in time, fella. You're just in time. We started a little later tonight. All right, so this first one is called Feeders of Obese Women. What are they? Okay, so we're going to find out. We're just going to learn what a feeder is. What is a feeder?
Feeders of obese women are part of a subset of men who enjoy feeding women to make them.
I gotta say, like the robot, the text to speech is pretty. It's a nice little cherry on top.
Yeah, but then again, it all goes back to the patriarchy, ruin everything, right? They can't even be their own thing. They got to be a subset of men. So
it's disgusting.
It is
disgusting. Men just can't let They just can't let them eat themselves to death alone. Nope. It has to be for a man's pleasure.
Exactly.
It has to be for a man's pleasure.
Gain weight. These men gain a sense of sexual power and control when they feed their.
I love this. It's just like stock footage from like at B-roll actor stuff. Just a handsome guy like staring into the face of evil.
Sure, if you did like a Google Lens, he's on the cover of some like a diversity inclusion hire portfolio for some company,
or he's in like a Kmart ad or something.
Or a Kmart ad, he's in like a gazillion things. But here he is showcasing that subset of men who exploit heavyset women
for sexual power.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Get them in the lair. You force feed them. You make them pack on the beautiful, and then checkmate.
Checkmate. Then they can't leave. They can never leave you. Literally, they can't leave. They can't walk.
You immobilize them by empowering them.
And you fucking don't ever charge up the scooter. Real heinous shit. Real heinous shit.
Yeah.
Partners and make them heavier.
Oh wait, stop.
While some might think it.
I also imagine like stairs are key, right? So like initially get them down into some stairs, and then make it so convenient that they never get up to the point when they want to escape. Boom, stairs. Checkmate. All right. I had to say it, otherwise it'd be festering in me, and I would have forgot it.
You just see one of them get to the door finally. They've shuffled. It's taken them like 3 days. They've had to get off the table. They've gotten to the door. They open the door. They forgot about the fucking stairs. No.
Damn stairs.
Shit.
It means any man who cooks for an overweight wife or girlfriend. Feeders of obese women actually fall into a specific category.
Oh, you don't say.
People who are feeders are usually referred to as FA also.
Here we go, baby.
FA
Here we go. More
stands
acronyms.
for fat admirers. These men enjoy being in a relationship with heavy women. The women can range from a little bit over.
This is what I mean. Like this video is like made by like an algorithm, just like pulling stuff. Like, where's my BBWs?
No, it was a commercial for something else, and now they like put new text over it, and then the video.
It was probably for like an antidepressant. Like, look, these people haven't killed themselves yet. It must be working.
Or ironically, a weight loss pill or something.
Weight to morbidly obese. Some feeders of obese women like to start out with a girlfriend who is just a little bit overweight and feed her until she's obese.
The right amount of chunk. Right amount of chunk.
Pleasant. It's pleasant, you know what I mean?
Pleasantly plump, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
There are men who look specifically for very obese women weighing 400 pounds or more because they find it sexy. Others want
I
someone
know a few
very
of those.
full-figured but not obese. This particular group
We call them picky. They should be happy with what they can get.
Happy with what you get. It's an experience. It's experience, you know.
Yeah, I mean, what, like, you're gonna half-ass this? Come on.
See, part of being sex positive is inherently body positive, right? So, I mean, everything intertwines at some point, but I'm sure we'll get into it. So, FA, you know, fat admirer. All right, got it. First new acronym of the night. Let's go, baby.
Tom is awesome says, I only like them 500 plus.
Well,
That's
Tom,
it.
man, Tom,
Is that
Tom is a guy that likes an impossible batting average, you know,
Yeah.
and I respect that. Aim high, buddy.
of people doesn't just contain one type of person. It encompasses many different likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
The woman who enjoys being fed, overfed, and sometimes even force-fed is known as a feedie. There are also men feedies who enjoy having a woman who likes to feed them, too.
So I like being
That's where
fed.
I come into
I
it,
like
yeah.
being fed a lot. But,
Dude, do you actually like being fed though, or do you just like somebody cooking for you?
Oh yeah. If my lover wants to hand over food, shove in my face, you know, I'll gladly eat. It won't be weird for me. It could happen in
You'll
public.
gladly,
yeah. But that's me though. That's just me.
Yeah, that's just
I'm
me.
positive
Hey, listen,
in,
you know what I'm
so
saying?
many areas. It's ridiculous.
Women who fall into this category who like to feed men or simply find bigger and heavier men attractive are as FFA or female fat admirers.
Here we go, baby.
Not
Second
every
one,
man who has a
FFA.
fat
I despise like this whole thing of like needing like these names and categories and acronyms for all of this stuff.
Well, it's
Back in the day, you
context,
just
it's
be like, "Yo, you a
context.
freak." You'd be like, "You a freak."
Yeah,
That's
no,
all we
I'm
used
in the
to
freaky
say.
stuff, right? And you had that like that loose thing, right? But now in this day and age, like everything's got to be defined.
But I
Everything's
liked it
gotta
when
be
it was all.
refined.
Wasn't it better?
Ambiguous?
Wasn't
Ambiguous?
Wasn't
Yeah.
it better when it was all underground? Like you actually had to be part of these things to even get a whiff of any of the shit. Like, remember when you found out that if like gay men wore like yellow scarves in their back pocket,
Water sports,
that
baby.
means they like water sports. But that was like a big revelation. Nowadays, that's like something that like third graders learn
But
about.
it's so much right now in our culture with social media, the information age, everything is instantaneous. You need to know now.
What do I call
There's
you? What do I call you? Fat admirer. Call me a
So
fat admirer.
everything's got to be. There's no discovery. There's no journey of figuring out what's going to happen or finding out, you know, a space or a scene.
Yeah.
Like you need
You're never
everything instantly, right? And so there's no joy. There's no hunt anymore.
You're
There's
never-
no hunt
yeah.
for the thrill of anything.
We'll never be able to experience the joy of like ending up at a weird sex club dungeon and just finding out what goes on. Because
Man,
now we all know.
I
We all
cannot
know.
wait for that night. I cannot wait for that night.
Well, it's not gonna be a surprise, Paul. It's just gonna be fucking. We're gonna know. Like, oh, I know what's back there. I know what's in
Next
that
holiday,
background.
baby. It's going down.
Yeah, we're gonna end up like the dude from Seven. Remember that guy with the strap on with the knife on it? That's what's gonna happen to us.
Yeah, buddy. But look, you
fat
see, positive. You know,
That's true.
any experience is positive if you look at it hard enough. So.
admirer as one of the feeders of obese women. Very often they simply like a heavy-set woman and find her attractive. They don't always have interest in feeding her to make her heavier.
It's like some people are just kind of normal and they meet somebody. They just like them for who they are.
Yeah, or some people are just pussies
freaks.
and don't want to commit. Like they don't always have interest in feeding her to make her heavy. Then get the fuck out of here. Then
Like,
get out of here.
How did you guys
do?
get
Why are you
together?
on this video? Why are you on this well-produced video that totally wasn't repurposed for something else? Being like, oh, I may not have interest. Yeah, nah.
I think this is a Chinese psyop. You know, this is like from the Chinese government. They're trying to like normalize this behavior in the West, in America, and they're like, no, yeah, it's fine, dude. Like, yeah,
We make them soft. We make them soft and heavy.
Look, they dance. Look on TikTok. Look at them dance. Look at them slam this Fruity Loops creamer.
I think
Good
you hit the nail on
stuff.
the head with TikTok being the freak show. Like, man, that's what.
Yeah, it's
TikTok
like a
is.
modern day carnival. It's like going to carnival. That's what
I
it's
think
like.
it's such an apt thing. Yeah, but anyways, I'm sorry. Here we go.
Some just want to accept her the way she is. The feeder-feedie relationship is often referenced as a kink.
There's Paul. There's Paul. This is how Paul sees himself when he goes to the sex dungeon. Really, it would be like and then we'd cut to Paul and he would just be in a Red Sox hoodie. But this is how he visions himself. He's this guy.
I swear, man. Not that, not quite as chiseled, but that spirit, that embodies it. That embodies it.
The spirit, the red lights,
Yeah, Feedy. Let's do it. Let's get it.
Or a fetish. Some people may even call themselves feeders of obese women and feedies if they're not trying to gain weight, but just enjoy food and don't intend to cut back to lose weight. Some who take part in the fetish combine food with sex and play games with food as a turn-on. And while the women have to be willing to be fed to the point of weight gain, it's a decidedly unhealthy relationship for the woman because of the poor diet and extra pounds. There are women who end up bedbound or need.
Put a price on love, though. That's what I know.
That's true.
Put a price on
love. Are you marriage, relationships, all these things are about compromise. They're about working together towards the future, towards a goal.
Exactly. So
sometimes that goal is 1,000 pounds.
These medical facts, these medical concerns about how love is love. Fuck off, robot.
Just let me feel good. Just let me feel good.
Yeah. Fucking roll the film. Fuck. No.
Eating a wheelchair because they become so obese they can't care for themselves. And some go into the situation knowing this will be the result.
I was a feeder once.
Yeah.
Had me a bad bitch. She was batting about 500, but she died, and the check stopped coming in. And well, you got some change?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me shit in this bag real quick. San Francisco, baby.
For women who are only a little heavy, the feeding causes them to gain weight, raising their risks of things like high blood pressure, heart disease, cancer, diabetes.
Which one do I go with? But at the end of the day, we know what the decision is.
This seems like I don't know. This seems like a little provocative. This is like racial commentary.
It all comes back to race in this stage.
Even my feeder videos and this chick eating donuts, even they got to bring race, they got to throw it in my goddamn face.
Black feeders matter. God damn it!
Look, she got a chocolate donut, and like a yellow glazed donut.
Yeah.
And now she's got to choose. Now,
or do you want this rich chocolate donut?
This looks like Zoe Kravitz from the new Batman movie, just like in a couple years after her and Bruce get together and she stops being Catwoman. She's like,
here's what's going down.
Diabetes, stroke and other maladies. For women who are already obese who get into a feeder-feedy relationship, they keep themselves extremely heavy and their health dangers skyrocket. Adults have the right to engage in whatever behavior they want, destructive or not.
Well, thank you, robot
But
lady.
feeders of obese women go beyond caring for their partners no matter what their sizes, they contribute to their poor health. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe our channel.
All right.
It got a little ominous at the end there.
It did a little bit. It's like at the last 20 seconds. They're like, all right, let's try to.
Like you guys do. You guys do. You do understand that this is not good.
This is not advocating anything. Okay. But yeah, so all right. So that's good. Like a little primer. I thought. We
got that little primer. Let's check out before we hop into another one of yours. I think let's watch this old TLC thing. It's like 7 minutes long. It's also going to help us kind of continue on into the world, unless it will. Well, hold on. No, we'll save that. Let's do the 10 tips for gaining weight. Is that what we want next?
All right. I don't even have it up.
Well, we watched the one. Then we have 10 tips for getting as fat as you like, and then gaining. And then, I don't want to give it all away, so I don't want to say it out loud.
Yeah.
So okay, we're gonna do one. We're gonna do the 10 tips for getting as fat as you like. Then we'll roll into this one, and then we'll go from there. Because I think this one will fall into the next two we're gonna watch. Be a nice compliment to them. Okay, nice compliment.
I like it. I like where this is going. Let's roll it.
Roll that beautiful feeder footage. Okay. Oh, yeah. Subtitles in this one. Fantasy feeder. So this is like for from the pro feeder community. It's like a pro feeder perspective. Like if you got work to do, you want to get it done. This is how you can get it done. Okay, you got a lady. She's looking a little thin.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
That batting average is sliding, down. You're getting a slump. You want to rise that back up. Here's a video for you.
Yeah. And we'll circle back to that thing you sent me a message about.
It can be surprisingly difficult to gain weight when you're actively trying to pack on the pounds. Maybe you're unsure of how to start, or maybe you've hit the dreaded gaining plateau and need some tips. Here at Fantasy Feeder, we've researched this topic and want to share our tips on the best way to gain weight quickly, healthily, and as cheaply as possible. Do you remember to stay
healthy? Isn't that like an oxymoron? I have to get the fastest way to gain weight healthily.
As healthy as possible? Yeah, a little bit. I've never heard of the fat plateau though. I guess we've probably all have experienced though, right? Like, when you pack on some pounds in your early 30s and you're like, you do get to a point where you don't really get heavier or skinnier. You just kind of maintain that weight.
Mm-hmm.
So we've all experienced the fat plateau. I'm hoping this coupled with the Durian Rider diet, I should be able to blow past it. No problem.
Godspeed, buddy.
Godspeed. I am carved out.
Your weight gain journey and try to remain fat and fit as much as possible. If you experience any problems, please reassess.
Just look at this dude. He's like, man, you ever fucking walk before? This shit's bullshit, dude.
He's got the headband and the wristbands. Like, he's
seriously a lot of what do you call
I need that. Just put on these fucking shorts.
A lot of moisture. Very moist out here. I'm very pasty right now. You guys ever try to fucking sit on a park bench? It's bullshit. Gotta stretch it out. These things are not made for me.
If you experience any problems, please reassess your decision to gain weight and if it's worth the risk to continue. Obviously, the decision is always yours and no one else's to make. First of all,
Tom is awesome says he's on the ice cream diet. Well, you gotta stay cool out there. It looked like it was pretty hot out.
Yeah.
Gotta stay cool.
For sure.
We wanted to share some tips from our lovely members on Fantasy Feeder. So a big thank you to everyone who got in touch and gave us their top tips for getting fat. Gainerboy265 from Fantasy Feeder says, try to be as sedentary as possible.
Oh, thank
you.
So
before you sit down to relax, make sure you've got everything you need. Things like your phone,
check,
your charger, snacks, drinks, remote control, and anything else you can think of.
This is basically the ritual I go through before I'm like, I'm getting it really high and I need to lay down on the couch. I better make sure I don't need to get up for anything because otherwise I'm probably just going to die here. Dude, one time I was so high, I couldn't get up off the couch to get a glass of water. I was dying of thirst, and I thought about it for a good 40 minutes. I'm like, well, I could just get up and get a bottle. Or I could just sit here and be thirsty.
The struggle is real in these points, right?
It really is. It really is, yeah.
BBW Fat Maker from Fantasy Feeder says, set time aside to slab out and stuff yourself silly at least twice a week.
Twice?
Actively gaining weight.
Did you say BBW Fat Feeder?
Oh, yeah. It's like big, beautiful women. Is that what that stands for? Isn't that what that is?
Well, they didn't clearly lay out that acronym prior to going into
BBW, that comes from the porn community. Like if you were to look at tags on videos, BBW, like BBC, doesn't stand for British Broadcasting Company. It stands for Big Black Cock.
Oh, okay.
BBW stands for Big Beautiful Woman. We're learning all sorts of stuff tonight. Very educational episode of Nightcap.
Yeah, pop quiz, FFA.
Oh, that's a fat or what? FFA?
FFA. There's FA and then there's FFA. See,
fat feeder acolyte activist.
Fat feeder admirer.
Admirer. Okay, there we go. Hagbard says Doctor Who is made big by Big Black Cock. Actually, yes. That's true. That's true. I don't know. I was trying to think of a Doctor Who reference, and it's not coming. something to fit in. It's like the Taurus or whatever the fuck that thing's called. Like whatever that, you know what I'm talking about. A giant black cock, and it travels through time. Okay.
More planning and effort than you might think. So set aside an evening to yourself or with your partner so you can really enjoy the experience and binge. Chubby Piglet from Fantasy Feeder says, make sure you're mentally prepared. She actually practices and experiments with meditation and hypnosis to gain weight. Not only does this encourage your body to get fatter, but it will also prepare yourself.
Oh, see, this like dovetails into that episode we did when we talked about The Secret. We talked about positive affirmation, like what's his name? Zink. Is it Frederick Zink?
Robert Zink.
Robert Zink. Robert Zink.
Miracle Alchemy and Success Coach.
Well, yeah, you're a little bit. Even though I watched all those videos, you're the one that's really. Paul's got a hard on for that guy. He's pretty based. If you check out his Instagram, Laws of Attraction at Laws of Attraction, he's been getting pretty based. He's just like, listen, I'm raising my son here. I'm not raising him so he can go die in a foreign country where we don't belong.
Damn.
They're pretty based. He's like, that's not our business. I was like, wow, Robert.
Have at it, buddy.
Mentally for the changes to come. People are likely to comment on your progress and not always positively, but don't get disheartened and take these comments as a sign
because you're using progress in terms of gaining weight.
Mm-hmm.
In the most unhealthy sense.
Like people might give you shit and try to tell you not to kill yourself, but you just ignore them.
Yeah, that's just noise. Those are haters. Those are haters.
Look at the statue of the Buddha. He seems pretty happy.
He's happy as fuck. You were just talking about based earlier, man. He's based too.
And he's a based biggin. He's cool as fuck. Hagbert says, whoa, you're as big as a house. Not yet, but someday.
Yeah. Houses are stable and foundation of families. Thank you very much.
Great tips for us all to follow and practice. So thanks ever so much, guys. And now what you've all been waiting for. Fantasy Feeders top 10 tips.
Oh, we haven't even gotten into the tips yet. I thought we were already in.
They had to go 2 minutes of fucking disclaimers.
Well, they do actually. They're like, listen, we are not liable.
Yeah,
if you fucking kill yourself,
this is your choice.
You know, if it's not working for you, if it's unhealthy, maybe rethink the idea of gaining as much weight as possible. Maybe just think about it.
Possible. Tip 1. Introduce shakes into your diet. Shakes these days are packed full of great nutrients for your body and usually come in around 350 calories per serving. So not only are they healthy to drink.
Yeah, you could. Actually, it reminds me of when I remember listening to the audio commentary for Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and Benicio del Toro, he gained a bunch of weight to play Dr. Gonzo, and he was talking about how he gained weight. Was he ate nothing but donuts, and he would microwave ice cream and just drink it. That's a way to gain. If you want to gain some weight,
yeah, that's one way, buddy.
You got to pack on those pounds. You know, you got the feeder convention coming up, and you're a little thin. You're only like 250. You know, 260.
Step it up. Step it up.
Step it up.
Benicio del Toro method.
Start melting gallons of ice cream.
Nuke that Ben and Jerry's, man, and just go to town. Just go to Flavor Town.
Yeah, go to Flavor Town.
They are an easy way to add on the pounds. Remember, it takes around 3,500 calories to gain about 1 pound in weight. So 2 shakes a day for a week could help you gain around 1.5 pounds. Tip 2. Home baking and cooking is key. It tastes better than pre-packed microwave food. It's healthier and usually cheaper in the long run. However, if
Hagbert says, laugh out loud, I was going to write, rule number 1, milkshakes. Who knew it was going to be the literal rule? and Tom says, and grind up some Oreo double stuff and mix it in. That's if you want those real gains.
That's what I'm talking.
You're not fucking around. That's like pro level. You don't want to start off with crushed up Oreos in your
those
shake.
People that are not in control. You know, they came to fuck. They came to fuck. They have their fuck faces on. They know what they're doing.
Oh my God, imagine just going into that room in the sex club, the sex dungeon, the feeder room.
Yeah.
It's just like a fucking just sweaty, fat men and women just slamming Oreo Frosties from Wendy's or something. They got a little microwave. They're just microwaving them so they can get them down faster, and then they use it as lube. Fucking really degenerate shit. It's wild shit. Wild shit.
If you are new to making
I've only had like half a drink. I'm not even there yet. Get ready. Strap in, folks.
food from
We gotta
scratch,
catch up, buddy.
getting stock cupboards may have an initial financial outlay. The reason it's great is because you can tailor your meal specifically to your own taste and calorie intake, adding as much or as little as you fancy. So things like extra cream, butter, and cheese are really easy to add to almost any meal. One stick of butter is around 800 calories, and 1 cup of heavy cream is also around the same at 800 calories. Cheese is super high in fat and calories, so try to add this gainer staple to your diet on a daily basis if you can.
Just eat a lot. Just eat a lot. Hagbert says there's rib bones and cum everywhere. Down in the dungeon, yeah, dude. They'd be like sucking on those country ribs. And you'd be like, oh my god, is somebody getting their dick sucked? No. Just eating a rib.
That's how we do.
Just eating a rib while some skinny guy's in the corner just in heaven, just jerking off, just fucking cranking it. Just cranking it, dude.
Tip 3. Pimp out your food. Use sauces, dips, extra cheese, and dressings. These small, tasty extras can really make a difference. Other ways to pimp out your food include adding extra cheese, meat, veg toppings to things like store-bought foods such as pizza, fries, and pasta dishes. It works with almost
And remember to put everything in these attractive metal tins.
Mm-hmm.
You can really get that, like, I am just an animal sentiment really heightened, you know? Because, like, you just throw your pizza in there, doesn't it? Just cut it up so it's just easy to get down, you know?
And make sure you accompany it and pair it with a fine artisan microbrew.
Yeah. Some Brooklyn Lager, St. Jude's Pilsner. Some real nice, high calorie.
Well, it's key, right? It's key.
It's key.
If you want to do it, do it in a way to where you're treating yourself, because you don't want negative pounds being packed on. You want positive.
Well, that's true. That's true, because all that hate's gonna stay inside you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't need that at all. You don't need that at all.
Yeah.
Anything really. Tip 4. Try to have at least 2 courses for every meal, a main and a dessert, or a starter and a main. Or if you're a more advanced fatty, then why not all 3 courses? Having more than 1 course.
More advanced fatty? Well, I am an advanced fatty, and I can totally get behind at least 2 courses because, positivity, man.
The woman recording this is 125 pounds, and she has to go take a shower when she's done. She's like, "What am I doing?" I mean, I know everybody's got to make a living, but Jesus Christ.
I just imagine all these fatties, all these advanced fatties, listening to this advice to get more fat.
I said, put some cheese on it, please. Put some cheese on it, mate.
Increase your stomach capacity and appetite, meaning you'll gradually get used to eating more as standard. Tip 5.
Yeah, I felt that same thing. It's usually around the holidays when I stop caring. And suddenly I'm like, wow, I can eat a whole pie by myself by the end of December. This is great. This is great. I've done the work.
It might be time to upgrade your tableware. Bigger dishes and bowls mean that you can fit more food on your plate, which will encourage you to eat more. It's a very simple...
It's just that simple. You just get bigger plates so you can put more food on it. And that also helps with the sedentary angle, right? Because then you'll have to get up less for seconds.
Nobody likes a blank canvas. Nobody likes blank spots, okay? So the logic checks out. It's solid. The bigger the plate, the more you're going to eat.
That's true.
That's true. I like it.
An effective way to pack on the pounds. Tip 6. Leave snacks around the house. Bowls of chips and sweets and chocolates.
That's
Many of us eat out of boredom, so having visual reminders of food being around will make us hungry.
Or get a freaking office job where every cube has a pile of shit, because every cube always has something that they're trying to get rid of at their own house. So it's just a commune of shit everyone's trying to get rid of, so you can just have at it. But,
dude, they're trying. This is all I'm telling you. This is a psyop. Okay, we're being psyoped into being feedies.
Yeah, this is a retort from Xi Jinping trying to get back at it. He's not going to debate you. He's just going to keep us occupied with this.
The son of a bitch, like he knew the whole time that I would call him out for a debate, and this is how he hides.
Communist China cowards, man. Let me tell you.
This is shit, dude.
Sneaky fucks.
Tom says, "What's your favorite pie?" My favorite pie, I don't know. Is it possible to have a favorite pie? All pie is pretty good. Maybe I like a good key lime pie. I like a good apple pie. Sometimes, but I get in that holiday spirit where suddenly like 4 different types of pies just become one pie, in my bowl.
Yeah.
Obviously I have a bowl like a trough.
Yeah.
And,
so he's there. All pies matter. So, okay.
Hashtag, yeah.
Tempt
The bigger
yourself.
that you get, the more sedentary you'll become. So having snacks easily accessible
There
around
you
the
go.
house is a good habit to get into.
Key is not to move around.
Tip 7. Eating out and takeaways. This one, unfortunately, isn't always the cheapest option, so we wouldn't recommend doing this regularly. Eating out and takeaways are a special treat, so make the most of your money by choosing special offers and deals. It's usually cheaper to get a family meal rather than individual items, so get the extra and enjoy. If you don't finish it, you can always save it for the next day.
Oh boy, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Are you suggesting that I'm a coward, that I'm weak, that I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
finish it?
Yeah.
Watch out there. Watch out there.
Whoa. Those were
narrator.
probably for the listeners who are not advanced thighs.
Yeah, they haven't quite elevated themselves to being able to eat everything
Exactly.
at once.
Exactly.
Prophet says, Key Lime, what are you, different? I guess so, yeah, I guess. I'm a little,
He's weird.
Those types.
Mm-hmm.
Those types.
Mm-hmm.
Tip 8.
I know that you're
Keep
type.
a food diary so you can keep track of what food you've eaten and how effective they've been at helping you gain weight.
It's like so much work, like homework.
No. It's just like every plan of attack to lose weight and like track what you're doing, right?
You just invert it.
It's just exactly, yeah. And that's what you need to do. Mind blown.
Well, they're trying to I guess they're trying to imply that there's like a safe, quote unquote, healthy way to do this. And you have to scale up appropriately. If you're not an advanced fatty, if you're not like that, you're not there yet. You got
to get your heart accumulated with the extra weight and everything.
All that cholesterol, all that extra weight. You don't want to have a heart attack,
Yeah. Well, as they say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So
yeah, the road to becoming 1,000 pounds is a marathon. I agree with you.
Oh my God.
This will help you filter out the foods that.
So is the road to losing fucking 20.
Add them to your diet as often as possible to gain weight quickly.
Or losing anything. Give me 5. Give me 5.
Tip 9. Build yourself a weight gain toolkit. Tracking your progress is important, and
they had a toolkit full of tools. It should have just been full of sweets, full of confectionery delights.
I don't know if you know this, you stupid bitch, but working, using tools exerts energy, which burns calories, which burns fat, which is counterintuitive to all these tips. So,
darling, could you pass me the 10 millimeter eclair?
Always great to be able to see growth, as this will only encourage you to get fatter. We would recommend purchasing bathroom scales, calipers, and a measuring tape.
Look at 615
on a weekly basis if possible. And finally, tip 10. Get support. Whether that's online or in real life, it's up to you. But it is important to share your progress and to celebrate your goals and achievements. There's thousands of members on Fantasy Feeder waiting to join you and encourage you along the journey.
This is thousands.
It keeps looking like it looks like a butt right there. Every time it kept popping up, I was just like, I know, but I kept looking over here. It's totally not a butt.
Prophet says Durian Rider should have rode along on this episode.
I thought that when we started going over diets at the beginning of this, I was just like, oh man, I wonder what old Durian, little old Harley, what did he say about this, Mike?
He'd be like, well, they need to bike more.
Mm-hmm.
That would be his advice. But of course you can eat 3,000 calories a day as long as you're biking everywhere.
Oh, I picked up some of that Wallaby licorice. That Wallaby vegan licorice.
Actually, so did I. It's pretty good.
It's delicious.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's it for that one. Yeah. That was the end of the road with that.
Well, yeah. So we got the primer. We know about. We got some terminology down, right? We got some tips if you want to get into this, right? Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to become, an advanced fatty.
You want to be advanced fatty.
All right. Let's see. You guys want to see an advanced fatty?
Oh,
show me. Is that where we're at?
Show me.
And then we'll. I guess that's where we're gonna go. Okay, I don't know which tab. That tab sharing. Okay, should be good. All right, let's do it. Let's do it now. I think some people are probably familiar with this. This has made the rounds on the internet, but I don't know if Paul's ever seen it. She's like a spokesperson for the feeder community. Now she blew up. She got real famous from this.
I think watching a woman eat is erotic.
Philip's turned on by feeding me because when I eat, I gain weight. He loves New curves.
He looks like Scatman Crothers from The Shining.
You have the shining. You
Yeah.
have the shining.
You got the shine on you.
If you got the
see
shine.
I see an early grave. Oh, lost Paul. See if he comes back. Big Paul. Big Paul. Hybrid says, think he has that painting above his bed. He does, but it's just of a much larger woman. A much larger. There he is. There's Big Paul. You froze for a second there. Okay. All right. Are we back? You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm fine.
All right.
Cellulite. A bigger body.
Get it.
All right.
That is beautiful.
Thank you. Dan.
Oh, just a quick shout out to the Toyota Corporation. 10,000 households in Vermont without power, and my whole living room is running off my truck. Nightcap on 400 watts.
You imagine where the fat's going to go, where the curves are going to go.
He likes me to gain. I like to gain. So it's a perfect match.
I find our feeder-feedy relationship to be erotic, extremely sexy.
Yeah.
I weigh somewhere over 600 pounds. I'm a feedy. That's what I'm talking about. Big cake for you. Thank you.
That looks delicious. I call myself an encourager more than a true feeder.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm watching you feed her.
Yeah.
What does that mean? And you're talking about how erotic you think it is.
Right. No, it's just the naming, right? Everyone wants to have their
It's
own
just like, no.
titles.
I'm not like those freaks you've heard about, okay? I'm an admirer. I'm just like, I just think it's cool.
I think it's a more positive connotation to just admire.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Because this is
enable.
what she wants. This is
Right.
what she wants. You know, it's not really about me. I'm not one of these patriarchal
Because
monsters.
when she dies, like lifting up her arm one day, you'd be like, well, I just admired her, but live by the sword, die by the sword. But if you're an enabler, then you're a fucking culprit.
Mm-hmm. Important distinction.
The feeder would be the person who is admiring of an obese large person.
There's
Part
a
of their attraction to them is the desire to want to feed them. A feedie is the person who's receiving the food.
Philip and I knew that we
It's
had
like pretty basic, pretty simple.
Yep.
This guy's definitely a feeder.
the same desire of feeding right away.
I saw her picture and it's very impressive.
I was leaning over a bed and my belly was just hanging down, and he just went nuts.
She's a big girl. I like big girls.
Yeah, because you could fuck that belly button.
There are very few people who meet and fall in love with a person.
Hagbert says he's a connoisseur. And Tom says, oh my.
That is also the embodiment of their fetishes.
I wanted to become a web model so I could show my body and men could have...
Now you got to remember, this is before OnlyFans. I guarantee you she has an OnlyFans now. But this was before all that. So you would have to have like a website. Your own website, have to set up some sort of payment processor.
Yeah. You'd have to be in the know a little bit more back then. You said this is early 2000s?
This is like probably 2009, 2010, probably somewhere in there.
Yeah, so you'd have to be somewhat savvy and get somebody. Yeah.
Hybrid says he also sounds like he has a little sugar in his gas tank. Just a little bit.
Their perfect woman to view. It's not fair that I take a thing of beauty and hide it away or not show it off.
Yeah, why give it to only one person?
Of course, I have to bring to the forefront Donna's beauty, Donna's sexiness, Donna's fatness.
You exploited piece of shit. It's like one thing is just like, oh, I'm a buyer. I'll do this. Like you go flaunt her off. That's why you're on the show in the first place.
He's just a pervert. He's just a perv, and he's found like this fountain, this ever-giving fountain.
Yeah.
He moved in with her, and now he gets to be like enjoy the exhibition nature of it. He's like a cuckold almost, right?
Yeah, like a virtual cuckold.
Yeah.
Opportunity to really feel validated, worshipped, respected.
The website.
The guy sounds like he was getting kind of turned on when he was describing it. He's like, yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
A little bit. He's like, my dad made the macaroni and made this bitch fat. His last name was Kraft. So.
Allows me to share Donna
I'll be
in
here
a
all
way that doesn't cross a certain line. They can look at her, they can enjoy her. We've had some very interesting sets that we've done. I mean, there was one where she was handcuffed to the refrigerator.
Very provocative, very artistic, very
and
interesting.
apropos. Oh my God. Where can I handcuff you? To the refrigerator. You cold bitch.
Yeah. Very subtle there, not feeder guy. Prophecies, of course, a brother is into this. Well, yeah.
Here's Dad saying what we're thinking. Gotcha.
Well, it's, listen, I mean, that's just the thing. That's the thing. Black men like a girl with a little more
based
curves.
on reality. Yeah, but come on, man. Your average brother is not talking about that type of trunk.
I don't know, man.
No, I know.
Give Donna to another man to enjoy Donna. But I can give another man a picture of Donna. Donna is a woman that is over 500 pounds. You don't find that every day. I love her fatness, how her fat moves under her clothes.
I'm his supermodel. I'm perfect to him.
Feedies want to eat. They feel empowered about
listen, I'm not going to say that this is like, this is like a nice Saturday night for me.
That looks, no lies, 100%. Like, that looks like a fun time. Like, I would right now, I would annihilate everything on the table.
That's fat kid heaven right there. You're just like, whoo, shit, it's Saturday. Fuck, nothing to do. Throw on a movie or something.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Large. They get attention for being obese. Sometimes validation.
He totally is getting turned on.
I mean, that's the whole thing with like people that get caught in these cycles. It's the only way they can find validation or feel good about themselves, and then it becomes like this kind of vicious cycle of continuing the behavior, even though it's bad, because it's the only way that you get positive affirmation, positive validation. Same way that you see like a lot of people on TikTok. Like some real freaky weird shit goes on over there. Okay. People totally debasing.
It's like that old adage, like, any publicity is good publicity, right? I think it extends over to attention, right? And some people just want to get that. So there's no place that Don feels more validated than TikTok.
Oh. Hubba.
Donna.
Oh my God. Hold on. I need this is my new computer background.
I want to take it already.
No, I'll have to come back later. And this motherfucker, look at this cheap fuck. He's got like this old piece of shit. I mean, I know.
No, you said it's 2009. You said 2009.
Hey, listen, I owned a Canon T2i Rebel at this time. He could spring for a little bit more, although all of his money's got to go to the food because that's not a cheap lifestyle. We saw them go to takeout. We saw her ordering in. We're talking a lot of stuff here. Tom says, "Oh man, I am hard as a rock." Well, prepare to get even harder, my friend.
Yeah.
Donna's body is a fat lover's playground.
Holy shit.
Okay, smile, relax.
Yeah.
There's just more to work between the cellulite, the stretch marks, the fat to push up and down on. Let me just try this.
Philip loves my belly, so he needs to have my belly as a center of attention during sex.
Just a simple thing like lifting her belly, that's very erotic.
We kind of have sex.
That's how Philip stays in such good shape. He's getting a lot of fucking.
Look at his forearms, man. Look at his delts. Like he
lift up.
He gets it in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Upside down. He uses the headrest or the wall to keep himself in the right position.
Yeah, you need leverage because they're so big up front that if you don't have anything to push off against, you're not gonna, what's the word? Hit the spot. You know? Very nice. I think we got it.
There's definitely power play going on. And they might consciously be aware of that and be accentuating that, or it's just a background dynamic that adds
Either
to
way,
the
I'm
arousal.
jerking it.
I don't think it's.
Do you think it's possible for that to be a background dynamic? Like that one of them does not understand like what is happening? Could they be so into this, like so just like involved and enraptured with like the mechanics of it that they don't like have a sense of like
It's a mutually like assured thing and not like one's getting one over the other? Possibly.
I don't know. I have a hard time believing.
My inclination, based off the granted, I know it's like edited, we're getting this, blah blah. But as it's being presented, the power dynamic is all my bald dude right there.
Well, that's what I would say, right? Because
Yeah,
and I think it's like, you know, if you're an average person, and we kind of understand this kind of this notion of self-preservation, like doing this at all is like so counter to that.
mm-hmm.
I mean, because like at some point, this does not end well for you, and there's no way out of it. There's no way to get around that. Even if you were like to quote unquote do it healthily or whatever, if you're trying to become 1,000 pounds, like you do not have long for this world. Even doing it the right way, quote unquote,
right.
And you imagine like you have to shut so many things off inside of you, inside of your brain, to go forward with this. And I guess, but you know, acceptance is a very powerful thing. It's the same way like people get in abusive relationships all the time because they feel validated in those short moments. And this is what they do this is what this person has to do to get that. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. Hagbert says the pharma industry made history curing erectile dysfunction with Viagra. You guys did the opposite tonight. Congratulations. We're always working against big pharma. You know what I mean?
Always against big pharma.
Big power trip deal for me, but I certainly do enjoy taking care of her. It's a turn on, and what fat admirers dream about is
it's not a power dynamic. I just like feeding her and making her fat.
Potential. You know, you imagine that this person's going to get fatter and fatter.
A shocking new goal.
The bigger that I get, the more turned on he is. So every morning, Philip and I have breakfast, and you know, we have eggs, bacon, sausage, you know, bread, toast, the whole works.
I think the food in itself is probably just a lead-in to what's going to happen after the food is consumed.
There's a shower involved every morning. Yes, there is. He loves it.
I get to handle all this fat, this bounty of flesh that I love. I get to care for it. I get to
just the way he talks, he's so erudite. This bounty of flesh. Because she's purely an object, right? Like she's not a person to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
at one point they talk about, you know, she's so intuitive. She, you know, gets
she's
me,
a great personality.
It's all been her essence, her being, and his pursuit of packing on the beautiful.
Tom says, "I am speechless."
Wash it.
It's like when you don't have to wrap a towel, well, you can just fucking put a towel on it and it stays.
When it comes to dreaming about my weight, really there's no limit. I want to be 1,000 pounds.
I support Donna in her goal of reaching 1,000 pounds. To us, her gain is a source of enormous sexual pleasure.
People who want to maintain a large size, they could be putting themselves at some serious health risks. And you would think that they would be aware of that, because there's plenty of people that are fearful that they are going to die from their physical condition. But what's interesting is, why do they still continue to do it? Is the attraction or the compulsion so powerful that they lose judgment?
I don't believe.
I guess it's kind of like in the same way like smoking, right? Like, you know, Paul and I have been off and on smokers since we were like teenagers. We know like how bad it is, but we still are just like, we do it anyways, right?
Right.
So I guess maybe it's the same thing for them in some sort of weird way, like the way that they react to it, their body, their chemistry reacts to it, the endorphin rush, the
Sure. Yeah.
sense of calm that comes from, having a nice smoke. God, I miss smoking sometimes.
But I've taken it to a zone that's unhealthy. My blood pressure's fine. I stay away from salt. I try to, modify and try to have some.
No, you do not. I'm looking at, like, clever post-production people. I stay away from salt, just nothing but bacon and sausage.
Sense about this.
The potato chips.
Fucking subs.
Donna and I discussed the idea of immobility, and immobility is a huge turn on.
The thought of being completely dependent on somebody is just totally awesome to me. And then you'll help get the stuff out and help me make the toast. Yeah. Okay.
Being completely immobile totally accentuates the power dynamic.
Prophet says, we pay this woman's disability check. Tom says, immobility makes me come.
Where the person who's immobile appears and can feel completely powerless, and the person who's feeding them can feel completely powerful over them.
How many eggs do you want?
Just make the whole dozen.
Okay.
Yeah, just do
Thought
it.
of
What
having
a
pure
stupid fucking
responsibility.
question.
Just let it rip, dude. Don. Was that his name? Don? He looks like a Don.
Don Lemon. After she died 6 months after this taping, he went on to be an anchor at CNN.
And he was gay all along. Crazy.
And doing less makes me feel great. It's my dream.
Not gonna lie, both those things would make me feel well. I would say that's a dream status for me as well.
That's dream status for you?
Yeah. Immobility, just be pampered, be fed.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Some would say king status, Mm. Man, I don't know. Maybe
How
this
you
is
feeling?
why. This is I don't know how that made me feel actually. It's just like Rob just watching, just like a slow train wreck, and it was just I don't know. It's not settling well.
Well, there's a sense of it that's very funny, and it's kind of in a kind of gallows morbid way, but it's also like really fucking weird, and you can't help but feel kind of bad.
No, it's funny, but I'm at the whole now I'm looking into it and I'm focusing on things that were said in the past, in that video, and I'm just like, this is just so fucked. That is just.
Oh, that guy's a piece of shit. That guy's like an evil person. Not to say that takes away that woman's responsibility.
No,
but God damn. I mean, she was already engaged with that stuff when they met. She was on these websites for guys that have a fetish for big girls.
Yeah, man. But that's yeah. Then we got a primer. We got our tips. We saw an application of the first two things that we saw, right?
Yeah.
Ugh,
That brought us into the real world. So we were very academic. We were very intellectual up until this point.
We're trying to set you up, just a primer. Get into it, man.
Yeah.
Now, where do we take it from here, my man?
Come with the sleeve. So we can there's a few places we could go. This article's not. Do you want to read the article?
Oh, sure.
It's not too long. So we can share this tab instead. Cool. That's actually super easy. Wow, I could do that. So we can read through this article. It's the continuous colonization of the fetus communities. This is from 2019. Let's give it the full screen treatment here.
Yeah, first shout out the trigger warnings.
Yeah, so this is from April 12th, 2019. And this is from Visions of Issachura blog. This is a WordPress blog, I think. So it says trigger warnings, fat oppression, subculture exile dynamics, divergent sexual orientation. Okay. So let's get started here, and we can just talk about it as we go. It's not too long.
No, it's not too long.
Not too long at all. First, defining some terms for ease of reading by a variety of people. An FA is a fat admirer, someone who specifically finds fat people attractive. A fetus is someone whose sexuality is integrated with eating, gaining weight, or both, and encompasses a range from fetishization to sexual orientation.
And we got a little bit on that first primer video, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, so
it's
this
kind
is
of.
good.
It seems like though they have kind of tried to bring it closer into this idea that it's a sexual orientation. Like that's a
Yeah.
very pernicious word, and we see this a lot when we look into weird subcultures, especially things that have to do with like people, like
Yeah. Like a
maps,
sexual
pedophiles.
sexual orientation, or just like a state of being, like like a mental state.
Yeah,
So
like your identity is somehow
right,
defined by this on a deeper level, other than just being it like a kink or something.
sure.
The next paragraph says, I want to preface this by noting that the FA, the food admirer, and the fetus communities have lots of highly problematic people who contribute to fat phobia and sexual objectification with absolutely terrible behavior. For transparency, I'm a fetus, an FA with thin privilege. These communities need to do better in the fight for fat liberation. Being attracted to someone is not doing them a favor. If other people are trying to light someone on fire, the person who wants to drown them instead isn't doing anything good. This piece is not intended to demonize non-fetus fat people, just to note a phenomenon and the structures that surround it. Everything has to be rolled into this kind of language.
Yeah, that's. I just want to say, like, pause there. Like, there we go again. Like a movement. You can't just be into something. It's got to be something, a part of something larger. You got to make it bigger. Just like
something larger, but also something good and important. Like that's the way they're framing this. Is like, no, this is like a fight for your rights.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's a movement. This is a rights issue. About something you didn't know exists until we just made up these acronyms.
These are human rights, guys. This is just like Jim Crow, but for fat people.
Exactly.
And I don't, I'm not like throwing shit just because people are overweight. Everybody I struggle with weight. Lots of people struggle with weight. We're talking about something that is encouraging people to literally harm themselves based on the fetishization of other people and the way that validates them. Like this
exactly, and that's actually exploitation, right? So they're trying to almost like reframe exploitation, like in this, right? And so it's not, and it's such an important distinction to make because we're not like shaming anybody's like body type, but what we're having a go at is like the mentality of thinking that it's okay. It's medically not okay. It's science. You will be an unhealthy person if you gain a certain amount of weight. According to the CDC's little stupid fucking calculator, I'm overweight, but so I don't even like the science, fuck them, fuck the CDC. But that's an important distinction. We're having a go at making this into being like overweight into something more than what it is, which is an unfortunate, unhealthy state of affairs. There's a lot of other things that can go on to why somebody, is
but this isn't.
But this is completely.
It's part and parcel with all of these weird, kind of offshoot subculture things that try to normalize it in a way that is clearly not good. Like this is clearly unhealthy to encourage people. So if you were to take somebody who's young and impressionable and vulnerable, and they're overweight or whatever, this could stumbling onto something like this could really lead you down a dark, negative path. Like just a bad place in your life. You're not. This is not positive. This is not good. This is not a good thing. In the same way that they all of these things end up being kind of predatory towards the person with suffering from whatever ailment, especially when other people get involved because they want to be like advocates for it. They want to be advocates for, listen, I believe in you and I believe your feelings should be validated regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to wonder what the intentions of those people are. Prophet says, Paul sounds like the kind of guy who wouldn't even take a hot, toxic load on the fuck pew. What a fucking evangelical. No, he wouldn't.
Dan, I'm still waiting for you to take me on that magic carpet ride.
We're gonna have to
turn a new leaf.
That's the night the three of us will have to do that together. We'll have to definitely tag team that one. So the next paragraph is, for quite a while, fetus have been making communities through fat zine culture, which zines are like kind of homemade magazines, or in modern times, of social networking sites. Once the fetus community is created, it predictably goes through a cycle. At first, the community exists for fetus. People are peers and share some level of common interest. They connect, create content, and the new community begins to blossom. The content that gets created by sex workers, artists, and people who are just open about sharing their beauty ends up attracting non-fetus FAs because fetus content often contains beautiful fat people. FAs make up a substantially greater percent of the general population than fetus. Because of this, most of the community ends up being comprised of non-fetus FAs. Oh, it's like, so they live in Alaska. Despite the despite the variation in why people are there, this phase is often relatively harmonious aside from fetus from previous communities complaining, since they know where things are going. So it descends into fetishization. That's what that person's, and that's a problem. Like, why would you want to? Why would you be doing this if you weren't like, if it wasn't kind of like a turn on or something? Like, you're getting something out of it in terms of like relative to being a fetish,
Right.
Like, why else would you do it?
Right.
So I don't really understand what that, like, they have a problem that there's like people that want to see the fetus. I mean, there's always going to be a minority of those people. You're not going to be able to find people that want to fucking just continuously gain weight until they die. So of course there's going to be less of them.
Right. Yeah, but I guess it's like something like a reprieve or something relieving to find out, like, because people do struggle with whether you're trying to go from being morbidly obese to, or just getting rid of, to like, a more comfortable body weight. Like, people struggle with it, and then trying to find a community of where, like, who you are is just fine, and just frame it on this lens of, being body positive and, just accepting, like, who you are. That's got to be like released, like, oh yeah, that's definitely an easier path, right?
Yeah.
And people probably tend to go that way, and then like, well, just like every other one of these communities that like we dive into on Nightcap, tends to go into like this nihilistic approach. Do what I wilt. Let's fucking do whatever it is that we're into, and
Well, they all orbit the same things. All of this stuff
Yeah.
orbits, like all this postmodern deconstruction of everything just orbits like death cult, just dying, dying at some point.
Yeah.
Prophet says fetus gonna get diabetes. Put it on a bumper sticker. The next phase starts when there's a large enough number of FAs in the community. Non-fetus fat people who suffer through the fat phobia of the mainstream are attracted to the community because there is a wealth of people who value that aspect of their aesthetic instead of demonizing it as unattractive. Just like in the previous situation, there are a lot more non-fetus fat people than there are fetus in the general population. So over time, the community ends up being mostly non-fetus fat people. A lot of non-fetus fat people are grossed out by fetus, since an aspect of them that has caused them substantial suffering outside their control is being actively encouraged by people who started the community. So they're saying the fat admirers come into these communities and then eventually reject the fetus. Like, is that what they're implying? They say like, oh, they become disgusted because they're not part of like the weight gain process, other than like jerking off to the pictures.
Yeah. I mean, there's something about, fan involvement, at what point do you stop being an admirer, and a doer, like, yeah,
it's time to get off the shit or get off the pot, fella.
Does every cuckold have his bull day? I don't know.
Hagbard says feedy diabetes. Maybe, perhaps, mayhaps. Conflicts occur between the fetus who feel upset that this area they created for themselves is now a space where they're demonized regularly. A lot of non-fetus fat people are grossed out by what they see as a kink that is based in the sexualization of activities they are often shamed and oppressed for engaging in. What? So there's some fat admirers that are grossed out by like provocatively eating food. Is that what they're saying?
So like they're phonies.
So fake. They're FFAs. Fake fat admirers. Fake fat admirers.
We just gave the community a new acronym. You're welcome.
Like, you can't even people just can't catch a break. No matter what you do, you find a little community you think you're gonna find home, and there's all these interpersonal, interpolitical things going on. Like, well, he's not really a fat admirer. He's a faker. He's an FFA. He's a fake fat admirer. Additionally, the fetus are the most fringe element that society would prefer exist the least, as both the smallest population and the objective set that is farthest from normal behavior. Thus, fetus detract respectability from the community, impacting how okay it is for non-fetus to be public about participating in the community. Like, I don't understand what the fuck why there would be no fat admirers if there was not fat people there.
Right.
So you're saying that they reject you because you're fat? I don't buy that. I don't believe that. I don't understand. I don't even understand what the fuck they're saying. Are they just saying like there are
it's
some
been incoherent, right? Because they gave them the false premise: if you're a fat admirer, then you're not going to, evolve on your perception of like who you're being introduced to in this community, right? So I think they're trying to say is like we have a lot of people that come into this that, to a certain extent, they have their threshold. They may not know what it is, but once they hit that threshold, then they
like, when you see it. Yeah,
right.
When you see it, and you're just like, oh, that's too much. That's too
Right,
much.
right.
And this is from the perspective of a skinny FA, of a skinny fat admirer. That's who wrote this post. Because as you'll see in everything, every fetish, it's always weird dudes who take the charge. We're always like there holding the torch up, trying to regulate things. Right. Whoever's in charge of the community needs to process how to handle these conflicts, and that sucks. The fetus just want a space to connect with each other, and the non-fetus found a space where their appearances aren't demonized in the same way that mainstream society does. At some point, the folks in charge realize that the majority of their user base are not fetus, and in order to serve the community, they need to respond to what the community desires. So there's just interlopers there, like people are pretending to be fetus.
Yeah.
In there, just posing, just posers.
Phonies, man. Phonies.
The fetus are exiles from the community they created to serve the greater needs of the community of that community's new demographics. Now lacking community, one of those exiles makes a new community, and the cycle repeats itself. So are they saying there's so many fake fetus?
Well, people that come in and out of there, and I would make the argument based on the framing, the author of this article, because they said they have thin privilege. So isn't that kind of antithetical to like what being a fat admirer is? If you admire fatness, then you don't think there's anything wrong with it. So why would being thin be a privilege?
Well,
so using that, I am a fetus FA with thin privilege, right? Is what they said.
No, it would be. That's kind of like it's like an oxymoron, because like if you're saying that you have privilege over a fat person, that means what you're
exactly the person they're describing in the paragraph you just read it off.
Kind of,
right? Goddamn phony.
Yeah, because like just positing it that way, it implies that there's something negative about being fat.
Yeah.
Because if they say they have the privilege of being thin, then you would suggest that you're better off. Or maybe they understand that you're better off health-wise, but we still shouldn't come down on a fetus. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here we go. Similar to how white queer people escaped to San Francisco to flee the homophobia of most of America and displace the people of color who had been living there. The non-fetus fat people flee to the fetus communities and displace the fetus. What the fuck? It sucks because every step of the way, each party is making an entirely reasonable choice. The fetus are reasonable in creating a community to serve their needs. The fat admirers are reasonable in flocking to a community that has content which meets their needs. The non-fetus fat people are reasonable in embracing a space where their bodies won't be demonized. So they're saying like some people that feel like overly thin also feel demonized, and they're part of this like paradigm.
Right.
I thought they were there to jerk off the fat people.
Right.
So that was my assumption.
Yeah.
I guess we're learning new things. They just don't want to feel judged for being skinny. But wouldn't the fetus just like mercilessly make fun of them? Like, well, bro, you got to work on that calorie count. What are you doing? You know what you need to do is you need to get yourself some Haagen-Dazs, throw that shit in the microwave, slug it down, shoot it down.
Benicio del Toro approved.
Yes, the Benicio del Toro diet. Yeah. The people in charge are reasonable for serving the community by doing what they can to meet the needs of the most people and keeping the community as respectable as possible, so it can be more accessible to more people and more effectively meet those people's needs. This has been going on since before I was born and is deeply intertwined with a lot of fat communities, including fat liberation communities.
What the fuck is a fat liberation community? Like,
how's
getting
away from the
distinguished between other fat communities?
Because it's about like destroying the stigma of being fat. That's what they mean about fat liberation.
Like the body positive fat mermaids.
Yes, no, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I'm not even shitty. That's what it is. They're just like, well, yeah, we're big and we're beautiful. Like,
love it. We're here.
It's frustrating as a fetus to know a place I was invited to that had been mostly fetus when I arrived has a continuously increasing percent of its population that hates that fetus exists. I don't understand these communities if that happens. I just don't get it.
Right.
I don't get what the purpose is of them.
Right.
Based on what I've seen in the 2 times I've witnessed the cycle in full and the few times I've witnessed the cycle in part, there are a few things that come to mind. 1, the most impactful action to take in addressing this issue is fighting for fat liberation. It's like Nico. It's like Nico Stupid.
I know.
If the general populace doesn't treat fat people like shit, there are dramatically less incentives for non-fetus fat people to dismantle fetus communities. This is useful for the people at every stage in this process or who didn't even know that these communities were a thing. Number 2, the fetus community can take greater action to fight the problematic behavior that comes up within our community. There would be less incentive for the non-fetus fat people to exile us if there weren't so many fat people who waste their calories on treating fat people like sex objects. This is accessible to both FAs and fetus. I know this was a divergent topic that is wildly different from the discourse that most people are accustomed to. Thanks for making it through. Do you have any additional ideas on how cycles like this work or how to effectively meet everyone's needs without generating harm for other parties? I'd love to hear people's thoughts. Many blessings and nourishment find all who read this.
Yeah, pop in the comment. Pop
no
in the comment box. Pop in the comment box. What the fuck did you just write?
Why are you FFA?
Exactly.
Fake fat admirer.
Love it.
There we go. Okay. So now we're going to be heading into gaining weight for sex. What is a feedy? Not my cycle. Not my circle. I don't know what that means. We're going to find out together. Here we go. Well, strap in. This is a long one.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharzad. Welcome back to...
Dude, this is one of those FAs. This is one of those people he was talking about. What is this lady talking about? What is this lady talking about this for? I don't trust this woman already. Exactly. I don't trust her. What does she weigh? 155 pounds?
Would, though. Would.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, of course. Prophet says, fighting a modern army with insurgency is more effective than you think. Modern armies are much more logistics dependent than older armies. I think, are you in the wrong chat, Prophet? Are you double chatting me?
He's double chatting you.
Not my circle. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Casey, and she talks about her lifestyle as a feedie. What is a feedie? You might be wondering. I certainly was wondering. Well, you're just going to have to listen. Enjoy. Hi, Casey.
Oh, my God. Prophet says, you start blowing up roads and bridges. How are they going to get all that fuel and weaponry to the front line? Wait, what are we talking about? Talk about FAs.
I am so excited. I woke up this morning truly very excited to talk to you. So thank you for coming on Not My Circle. I think we're going to have a fun conversation today. And when this goes up, nobody will see who you are. So this is totally anonymous. And I want you to know I absolutely.
But I have a very nice picture of a person that represents your community. But don't worry, you're totally anonymous. Mm-hmm. Totally cool.
Respect your privacy and anonymity. And I'm a curious person. So this is going to be a good combo. Let's start with my first fun question is, what'd you have for breakfast today?
Okay. So on a weekday morning, I typically wake up and I have what we call a weight gain shake. So that is basically the equivalent.
Hold on. This was all done in post-production, by the way. Mm-hmm. Coming to this photo is post-production.
And expanding the photo while she's talking about her breakfast routine.
maybe this is what she sent in. It could be possible, right? Because this would be very fetching to somebody like Don, right?
Yeah.
Don would see this and he'd see her belly and he'd be like, "Oh my god,
I can grow that. I
oh
can
my
grow
god,
that.
come to me, come. Let's get some
Yes.
sushi. Let's get 50 pounds of sushi."
Yes.
Prof says, "Not gonna lie, Casey gonna get it if I'm drunk." And then so is that bag of donuts after I smoke.
Of what a typical person would drink in a protein shake, only I put 3 scoops of serious mass.
Also, what the fuck is it? Mountain Dew Zero? Phonies in our midst.
Phonies.
Everywhere.
Phonies.
Gainer powder in it and heavy cream. And then on my way to work, I had 6 donuts.
Ooh, fun. What kind of donuts are you into?
I usually do either Boston cream or just like a sprinkle donut of some sort to keep it fun.
Oh, I'll give you some Boston cream. Prophet says.
Keep it funny. Keep it funny.
Of everybody I've talked to, you've got the most fun breakfast for sure.
Fantastic. I love my breakfast.
And this is an area, so I'm going to start asking you about what you do. And I know truly nothing. So I'm very curious to hear what your world is like.
What say you, Queen?
And feel free to correct me along the way if I say something that's wrong or inappropriate or anything. I'm here to learn. So you're a feedie.
Yes, I'm
what
a
is
feedie.
that?
So a feedie is someone who would fall under the umbrella of what we call feedism or feederism. And underneath that umbrella, there's a lot of little sub niches. So I would primarily be considered a BBW. That means a big, beautiful woman. Not every BBW, however, is a feedie. So being a feedie, I like being fed.
So that's like an extra tag on Pornhub.
Mm-hmm.
BBW, feedie.
And that doesn't necessarily have to involve another party. Like, I just love eating. I love feeling my body grow. I would also be considered a gainer. So not every feedie feeds with the intention of gaining. I enjoy gaining weight and growing my body.
So interesting. I've never heard of this before.
Yes.
Okay. What is your
typical process?
Yeah. How did I have so many questions. How'd you get into this?
Okay. Before she answers, Prophet says, my mind always drifts back to that short film Sweets that got cut off several dozen nightcaps ago. It was supposed to be a metaphor in a body horror short film, not a kink. Yeah, there's I can't remember. It's like part of a larger film.
Yeah.
Theater of the Bizarre, I think it's called. And it's about somebody like eating sweets to a disgusting degree.
Yep.
Okay, so there's a very long backstory, so I'll try to take you through it. Up until the end of high school, early college, I was a completely typically sized individual. I was an athlete pretty much my whole childhood and teenage years, even in early college. I was a figure skater, and I definitely struggled a bit with my body image. After several years of education, now looking back, I know that a lot that happened in my childhood with how food and bodies were communicated to me definitely has brought me to where I am today. And I fully acknowledge that. But, messing around with the internet, I kind of discovered that there were people who...
There it goes again, Sean. There it goes again.
It was a mistake. The internet was a mistake. But like this is her ultimate form of rebellion. Like she probably felt like she was so controlled. Her body was so
controlled, so scheduled, so proper, so disciplined. Yeah. And now this is the complete fuck you to everything that brought me up to this point.
Now that she's at the ripe old age of 23, she's ready to make some serious life decisions.
Enjoyed delis. And I had always kind of had a little fixation on what at the time was a non-existent belly. I had a completely flat stomach. So in college,
that was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Just, I don't know, get pregnant. I don't know, or go meet a guy with a beer gut.
Ironically, I ended up dating a guy, completely normal terms. I think we might have matched on Tinder. And everyone gains weight in college. I maybe gained 10 pounds unintentionally. Yep, it happens to everyone. And he liked it. And eventually he revealed to me that he was what we call a feeder, meaning he likes not only watching women gain weight, but he enjoys feeding women and kind of, he was also a dom, so he enjoyed, controlling my diet in a way, but I was completely,
the layers revealed. The layers revealed. Okay.
Patriarchy reeking his ugly head in. Here inlaying the fucking power dynamic.
So this guy found like a relatively healthy, athletic woman.
Yeah.
And for her to feel validated, because she must have liked him a lot, to want to like engage in this behavior,
right?
It becomes habitual.
Yeah.
And then it becomes an identity.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to do the work to like correct what you've done to yourself.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not going above the right amount of chunk is just irresponsible.
Yeah, exactly. That first 10 pounds, he should have been like, hey, this is cool, but let's chill. Let's eat a salad.
Or let's be like, hey, let's go hiking this weekend instead of like, hey, let me take you to Benihana's.
Let's get some bikes, mate. Let's go down. Do some cycling.
Durian,
full
not
consent
approved.
to it.
Yeah. Durian rider
does
not approve. He would not approve.
I was a little
the sugar.
nervous back then.
Yeah.
So back then, gaining weight meant like 10 or 20 pounds. And then I would often yo-yo with it just due to, societal norms. I was really intimidated, really scared. And I always wanted to be able to go back to a norm. But then we had broken up eventually and I started my young adult life. And I went like,
beautiful fast
I was just really overwhelmed by the...
She didn't pack on the beautiful fast enough. He fucking bounced.
He was just like, listen, I thought you were into this. I'm an FA. I'm not an FFA.
Listen,
I'm
Casey, you're not giving me anything to admire, and it shows. It's not showing, and we need to go see different people.
Have you seen Carol? Now she's done it. She's done the work. Okay?
Carol is doing the work.
Carol's at fucking Taco Bell every night at 2:30. Okay, before she gets gangbanged. Every night.
Concept of fetism, and I wanted to get as far away from it as possible. I was like, I just want to be normal. No one's going to accept me this way. So I got really into fitness again, and I got really skinny, like maybe 110 pounds. I was a nugget, and I was miserable, like completely miserable. And I was still like what we would call a gray face, lurking, watching videos of larger women and wishing I could be like them.
What we call a gray face. So they have names for people that don't commit, people that are curious.
Right.
People that just can't commit to the feedy lifestyle. They call them gray faces. I like that. Oh, whatever, you stupid fucking gray face.
The terminology we're packing on tonight has just been unreal.
This is very educational. I'm learning a lot. Gray faces, feedies, FAs, FFAs. Good God.
So I got a little bit older and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go for it. And I'd only intended once again to gain like 20 pounds, 30 pounds. That turned into 40 pounds. And now collectively, since restarting at about 110, I've gained probably like 140 pounds.
So she's 250 pounds now.
Yeah.
She's doing the work.
She is doing the work.
Not a faker.
I bet you that asshole from college is like, oh, I fucking missed that.
If only I had hung in through the eating disorders and the body dysmorphia. If only I had hung in.
You could have been a part of all that emotional trauma to get back right into the face, get prime 500 plus territory. But no, you're a fool. You're
What a waste. What a waste.
You backed out. He didn't commit.
He could have had it all.
He really could have had it all, but inside, he decided to jump skip it. I'm just going to get a heavier one. I'm going to start off with a heavier one. I knew she was too thin before I started. Now look what he missed out on. Look what he missed out on for being a fucking piece of shit.
Being a fucking college douchebag.
Oh my god.
These kids got to grow up and they got to learn to fucking just like accept what they want.
Commit, you miserable son of a bitch.
Hagbert says Q Cat Williams.
All together.
Throwback.
Is this a fetish?
Yes, this is most certainly a fetish. I call it's a kink. However, it's also definitely like a big part of my everyday life now. All of my relationships for the past 3 to 4 years, I date exclusively within this community of feeders. Most of my friends are feeding.
Become your only option. When you engage in a lifestyle, I imagine that's going to be your only pool is this community that you have carved out and made yourself a part of.
In lieu of trying to develop a personality, yes. Yes. It's like, because it's like when you see like the really hot dumb bimbo who's like a fucking got a box of rocks in her head, but god damn, look at that bodice. It's just on the opposite end of that spectrum.
Exactly, the extreme opposite.
I do have normal friends too.
What is normal anymore?
What is normal anymore?
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm skinny and I'm passively attractive. And like, what does it even mean anymore? You do you, girl. She's just selfish. She's over there trying to take this girl off the market. As soon as she heard that she was like athletic, she used to train, she used to be thin. This girl got her hackles got raised, and she was just like, I need to figure out how to gaslight this girl into continuing this lifestyle so that the dating pool for me is only greater.
Was it Sharzan Kira? Sharzad Kirada.
However you say that name, it sounds like some sort of witchcraft, if you ask me. It sounds like some sort of evil incantation.
Some Iranian queen.
She's over there. She gets us to say it, and then we're infected with the FA disease. We become fat admirers.
One has kinks, and I fully acknowledge that this one is particularly unique, but it's what makes me happy.
You look happy. I know nobody else will be able to see that, but I see you. You look super happy.
So you look super happy. Oh yeah, you're talking to me about this. Oh, you got a smile on your face. I mean, who am I to think otherwise?
Right.
Just described all of this, basically this like psychological trauma you've gone through since a teenager to being like in your mid-20s about like having eating disorders and body dysmorphia. But listen, you look like you're in a really good place right now. Like she's like got a 2 liter of fucking Mountain Dew, just drinking it in between talking. You look great, dude. Hey, you ever think about just drinking fucking drinking maple syrup?
Did you ever think about melting a pint of Ben and Jerry's and just fucking chugging?
You want to really see some gains? You really want to see some gains?
So walk me through this with your partner. I'm curious about the fetish side of it, the erotic side. Is it like some sort of seduction that happens where your partner brings you something to eat and then you guys get sexual pleasure from this?
Like he comes to your apartment, right? He's got a bag of donuts. And he's got a large, giant-sized sub from Jersey Mike's. You getting moist down there? You feeling it?
What's going on up there? What's going on?
You got your own oil and vinegar down there, girl? What's going on? Slick.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different avenues this can go down, and I've taken part in pretty much all of them. So there's more of like a softer version of fetishism where it's very gentle and they're kind of taking care of you and spoiling you. But then there also can be a more extreme form of fetishism, which I'm a little bit more.
They pull out a gun and they say, "Eat this goddamn spaghetti now. Eat all of it. Eat all the spaghetti. I've got a gun." That's more unpleasant. What is she gonna be like? Yeah, and then they choke you and they stick a funnel down your throat like you're some sort of hog at a farm.
Right.
And they just feed you straight grain. It's very weird. I don't really like that.
Into where the feeder takes the role of the dominant and he controls my diet and I'm growing. I most certainly grow for myself, but
controls your diet? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What does he have to control? Maybe he's like, he comes in with the Benicio del Toro diet. He's just like, listen, donuts and sandwiches, and Doritos.
That's when the admirer becomes the enabler, becomes the exploiter. The power dynamic ties back in. Like it's
you mind if I snap a couple of pictures? Just remain for private use.
Yeah, but part of engaging in this fetish is just giving up, right? So she used that language. She used that language like he controls my diet. He's going to do this, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a farce, man. It's fucking.
Well, it's just part of like that weird like BDSM dom submissive relationships.
Sure.
Dom subs.
Yeah.
I'm growing for him, and his girlfriend has gained so much weight, and it's kind of like, to many people, I'm kind of a spectacle. I went from having abs to being twice my size. It is a spectacle thing. So while sometimes like the comments of others can be hurtful, we also like really get off on them, because as people notice, that's validating that what we're doing is
any attention,
working.
good attention. Here we go.
Well, you see, because it's like anti-social compliance, right? It's like the ultimate form of rebellion, especially for her, right? This Casey specifically, as she has described her life thus far,
right?
That this is some sort of like psychological thing that she has wrong with her. She has she had a type of body dysmorphia.
We get off big time on like outgrown clothes. That's a really big thing within our little niche community. Stuffings. So like I'll sit down and eat like an ungodly amount of food. And there's many people who find that very, very sexy. I find it very sexy. For me personally, it's not necessarily the food that turns me on. It's more so the sensation of.
See you later, Prophet. He says, well, boys, I can't let the truck run all night, and the storm is getting worse. Time to hunker down after I spit a briny load to Casey. Of course. See you later, Prophet. Hopefully the storm is not raging tomorrow.
I know.
Fullness. And with that fullness, there's just a lot of pressure happening down there and whatnot. And it's very erotic for someone who's into it. And from, the feeder's perspective, my past partners, they get off.
The cut, because this is done in post. Like she did this after the fact.
Exactly. So I want you to remind you of what you're talking about. Like this is what she's talking about, right? Like it's almost like because what goes on in the post, right? It's just like, look at this piece of shit. Like that's what she's doing. It's obviously not a flattering still to use for somebody.
Yeah, but to some people this is flat. Some people this is what they want. Honestly, like I said, this Mountain Dew Zero.
That's true.
Though,
I could have my bias. This could be my bias. Slightly.
Yeah, that's your thin, healthy bias. Yeah,
I'll check myself.
You like women that are like relatively healthy.
I stand corrected. I check.
What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
I check myself. I'll put on my.
Can vary. But on watching this girl who was tiny and little just blow up, just completely swell out of her clothes, and knowing it's because of them feeding. So it can definitely take a couple different perspectives.
How do you feel health wise? Do you feel healthy? Do you feel good in your skin? I mean, I know you said you feel good in your skin.
I'm 26. I feel great. Come back to me when you're 40. Let's talk to a 45-year-old feeder.
I don't think they live. I think that's when they die. Like that's their cutoff.
I would say they probably live to a ripe old age of like 55, 57, maybe 60. I mean, Paul, what are you going to do on this earth anyways, right?
That's
like
true.
How much time do you need? How much time do you need? And if you're living in ecstasy forever.
Yeah.
Do you need to keep going when you've reached those kind of heights?
Yeah. At some point, you're like, is it even doing it for me anymore? Like, how many more times can Well, actually, that's a stupid question because I'm always going to love a trip to Benihana's. I'm always going to love a freaking sub. So I don't know. Maybe you just ride it. You just roll the dice.
Yeah, maybe you need to be a feedie.
I do. I need to be tampered. I need to be cared for. I need to be cared for.
I need to be fed. Imagine if somebody woke up at 6 a.m, just made you a dozen eggs and 24 sausage links and a bunch of bacon. No high sodium diet.
Can I bring like a Japanese anime female character to life to just feed me and like take care of me all day?
Oh, Mr. Paul.
Mr. Paul, Mr. Big Paul. Eu got big paw.
Oh, have your eggs. Have your eggs.
Am I asking for too much? Am I asking for too much?
You know, it sounds like from my perspective, and of course, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but do you feel like you're taking care of your body?
Yeah, so that's like the most commonly asked question. That's totally fine. With, gaining a lot of weight in a very short period of time, there's certainly health risks that come with it. And since day one, I have promised myself, like, if I roll up to my doctor's office and it looks like I've got diabetes or high blood pressure or something, we need to reevaluate what I'm doing.
That's just an eventuality. Like that's going to happen. I don't think there's any way of getting around that on a long enough timeline. That will happen.
Mm-hmm. It's just your genetics in play that's delaying it. And
Paul's breaking up. Big Paul's breaking up. Let's see if he comes back.
Oh, I'm here.
You there? Okay.
Yeah.
You were breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, we've got a ton of rain.
Yeah, you guys are getting storms up there.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I think you're right about is some of this is genetic for her. Like she doesn't feel like shit yet because she just hasn't lived like this for very long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she went from being 110 pounds, very athletic. So she's genetically predisposed to being like healthy.
Right.
She's got that healthy privilege. She's rejecting it.
Exactly. She still internally, she still thinks she has thin privilege, right? And she got herself into this, and she probably thinks because of that, young dumb brain, that she could bounce right back if she wants to, if she gets into a bind, right?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what she's describing. Like, well, if I find out I'm about to get diabetes,
then we need to reassess and then go. Big, listen.
That's going to happen. There's no way around that.
I probably wouldn't stop what I'm doing. I'd just do it in a healthier way. Personally, up until this point, I'm super blessed. I have exceptional genes. Up until COVID hit, I was still, I wouldn't say working out, but I would go for walks and stuff and, stay as mobile as possible. My diet's not complete garbage. I do, sneak some healthy things in there. But overall, I feel great. I mean, I certainly have lost like a little bit of mobility, just being in a larger body. That's what happens. But we also kind of get off on that as well. The loss of mobility to a certain extent. The fantasy of that, maybe not so much the reality, is very hot to a lot of people who are into this. So to answer your question, I feel great. I feel a heck of a lot happier than I did when I was on the other.
Like if your whole life has to surround being able to like sate a fetish of a person or even of yourself, like good God.
Right. You are dramatically, this is mutilation. This is actively transforming your body to be obese. That's self-mutilation, right?
Yeah.
So you are actively doing that to appease whoever is in this community online to do this. Like, it's just like no respect for yourself. Like that's what you're like. Where'd you get in life to where this is what you want to do? You want to self-mutilate yourself to get into this like obese situation to get somebody on the internet. Like that's sad, man. This is a sad person.
It's very sad. It's incredibly sad. Like, yeah, just like to rationalize it in this way is it's like indicates other problems. This person has other problems about like self-esteem, validation, etc. And they found something where there's a vein of people that are so niche that she could tap into it, that it's like infinite validation all the time, infinite feeling good, that endorphin rush you get when somebody tells you did a good job. You know?
I don't know, man. I think she said all that she's going to say, man, like with this. Because at this point, she's just going to keep rattling off everything she's done.
Well, we can go. We'll skip ahead a little bit. Let's skip ahead a little bit and see what other gains we can get from this. Because I agree. I think that she's probably. What else is she really going to say about this?
Needed that when I was at that size. But I would say it's definitely becoming
it
a
sounds
bit
like we
more
even skipped 20
popular.
minutes.
We skipped 5 minutes.
Maybe not necessarily the feeding and stuffing aspect of it, but just size in general. I do think we're moving towards a time where it's a little bit more accepted and people are starting to be like, yeah, that's pretty sexy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a bad thing though? Like if society at large like accepted this, no pun intended. If they accepted it, like wouldn't there just be like wouldn't that be like less of a kink, less of a special thing? You're not
Well,
special
it kind of
anymore.
feels like the society as depicted in that great movie Wall-E,
Well,
right?
yeah.
Where everyone's all fat, dumb, and happy, and let technology rule everything.
Oh, we're headed there, buddy. That's where we're headed. We're
Right.
all going to be sitting there in front of our viewfinders or view screens. We're going to be
Right.
ordering stuff from internet websites and not being able to get around.
Yeah, but yes, of course, it's a bad thing.
No, but what I mean is like a bad thing for them, like in terms of like the way they feel about what they're doing. Like it's if it's no longer special, then it kind of flattens out the purpose of doing it. Like if you're no longer validated or made to feel different or better because you engage in this and you get the feedback from that niche community, then you're just going to be a normal person.
Right.
And that wouldn't be, then you're just like everybody else. You're status quo all of a sudden.
Right.
You know? So wouldn't that be kind of a turnoff?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all about people doing whatever makes them happy, and two consenting adults should do whatever they want as long as they're not hurting anybody or, messing with kids or animals or anything like that, which obviously you aren't. So what do you think some common misconceptions?
See, that was an interesting thing. She kind of like lumps this in with other weird fetishes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's like, people can do what they want.
She literally just casually and nicely said, like, you're a step up between pedophilias and zoophilias.
Yeah, and bestiality. Yeah.
Or zoos, as I found out they like to be called.
They like to be called. Well, that's the technical term. Yeah.
Yeah. Zoos.
Questions are about you and your lifestyle.
Oh, there's a lot.
I'm sure.
So I think the most popular one is that people just assume that I have like a death wish, eating all this food. And I get that. If you were to, I'm sure people are welcome to look me up after, it probably looks like I live a extremely unhealthy lifestyle. And I fully identify that, on some days, on some nights I do. But at the same time, I am very health conscious. And I do, I've made modifications in my life to ensure that I'm taking good care of my body that allow me to have my fun at the same time. So that's definitely the most popular one. And then there's always, and I don't know if this is a misconception I placed on myself in the beginning, but there's also definitely one out there is that, this fetish is a fetish. It's not something that you can have a relationship with. So when I first started dating in this community, it was more so just, these insecure guys who had this odd kink and just wanted to experience it and then disappear. And that's like,
because they want somebody to like, hey, can I fucking blow it?
So maybe that's what they're talking about in the article too. With the fake phone is what they're trying to say, right? People come in, then they got their fill, and then they got the fuck out, right?
No, they were saying that community that those people take it over. Because of body positivity, kind of a sense of like what it means to have body positivity, and if you get too many feeders are doing things that make them feel insecure about their bodies because they have thin privilege, they're skinny,
right.
Or relatively speaking are skinny,
right.
Then they feel alienated, and because there's more of them, they will take over the community based on that alienation, which is so weird to me. Because wouldn't you just be there for the feeders?
Yeah.
Aren't there other like I can't get like skinny people forums?
No. No.
It's gotta be something.
It's all this.
It's all this. Yeah.
Unfortunately, very common in our little like niche community, but through trial and error and learning, I've learned that there is a wonderful opportunity for a very balanced relationship between fetism and, normal couple things too. And I've experienced that several times.
Several times.
Are you in a relationship now?
Not at the moment, but I do. COVID's made dating like unbelievably challenging. But I do have a lot of, internet friends who I connect.
She's like, I have a relationship with the Uber Eats guy. We just look at each other wistfully through the window as he's dropping off my KFC.
Yeah, and that's like the extent of her relationship, right? And it's probably just as like, mentally, intellectually deep as just the one she has that's where she has physical engagements, right? Like, because they don't do or say anything, they just fucking like simp over her bod. It's just like,
well, it's just pure objectification, and the same thing exists on the other end of the spectrum as well. Like, we're just people, you just become an object, you're just completely objectified. But in this, it seems like it would be even more intense. Like that fetishization, like, because it would be such a niche thing. It's like there's such a limited pool of people that are alive that would be like, yeah, this is my thing, this is my kink.
Yeah. I'll just give it another 10 minutes to see if she asks her a real question.
She doesn't ask her real questions. She's not going to.
And the aftercare is just amazing because it's just so soothing. I don't even know how to describe it. It's so hot to just
the aftercare.
For me, it's seeing them like show up or order just a mountain of food that feels so intimidating. And then, to be completely honest, there's usually I live up in New England, and a lot of things are legal around here, and edible involved, which kind of increases my appetite. And then they just feed me, or even if they're not feeding me, they're just there next to me, encouraging me. And another thing you
can do it. You can eat that other amount of rice.
Eat that grinder.
Oh, come on. You can eat 7 hot dogs. What are you doing?
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. We're over here at House of Pizza. I'm dropping all the fucking money here.
This is Beantown, baby. Come on now. Get into those cobs, huh? Just feeding her baked beans straight from the can. Not even warming it up. Just degenerate behavior.
We do is a lot of like funnel play. So funneling a weight gain shake or funneling a milkshake.
Oh my God.
And then
I was joking. I said, oh yeah, some guys like to stick funnels in my mouth and feed me grain like a pig at a slaughterhouse. She just said funneling.
Yeah.
They do this.
Yeah. No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is sad. People.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. You let somebody stick a funnel in your mouth and pour a milkshake in there? I mean, goddamn, that's like a nice
you go online and you see different types of funnels for different things. You know what I mean? So
yeah, sure. There's a milkshake funnel, there's a beer funnel. You've all done beer bongs. I mean, what's the difference, right?
Yeah, right. I was talking about that coom funnel, but anyways, like,
well, that's more like a coom cone. Because it goes over the neck.
Oh no, my friend, there's funnels. There's funnels.
Oh Jesus! I guess I haven't searched hard enough.
No.
No.
I don't know, man.
Hold on. Okay. I got to hear what she says because she brought up like
the aftercare.
Aftercare.
Getting so full, so I'm too full to even reach down to touch myself, and that's really hot to us. It's complete submission to them. For food, for pleasure, for getting off. It's very hot. And the aftercare is just amazing because it's just so soothing. I don't even know how to describe it. It's so hot to just watch this man like completely debilitate you with food and then just worship your body after.
So interesting.
She like just stopped herself from trying to puke.
That's really fascinating.
Okay,
so you'll eat so much you can't move, and then you're just at the whims of the FA.
Like, I wonder, like, what a feminist would think of this. This setup.
Well, nowadays they'd have to join in. They'd have to just be like, "Yeah, this is great. This is empowering. You taking the power. Yeah, I know that you're giving over, but at the same time, you're really in control because without you, what do they have? Nothing." Videos, pictures, have to jerk off like that? Come on now.
Is it? Do you find that it's typically like a man and a woman relationship, or have you seen homosexual relationships?
Oh, so it's actually very big in the homosexual community.
Okay.
Like, especially between like man to man. I think they're so cute too with their little bellies. And then I also, I've had a lot of wonderful feeding experiences with women as well. I'm super attracted to like super fat women. So I've been with women well over 500 pounds, almost 600 pounds. And so with that size,
yeah, come back in because we forgot. We forgot.
How do you set that up? Jesus.
Yeah, the logistics must be fucking crazy.
Well, the logistics, but also just getting together in general. Like they're just like.
Well, that's what I meant. Logistics. You gotta get forklifts in there. I'm sure she lives in a fucking warehouse. So like they gotta. There's logistics,
but like,
Sean.
Well, she's like talking about like that woman we watched from that TLC bit, right?
Yeah.
She's talking about women like that.
God damn.
What the fuck is going on out there?
Something that's really hot and that I really hope I'm big enough to be able to do like fully someday is we call it squashing. So it's taking your whole body and just basically squashing someone with it. And like we get off big time on that. It's
holy shit, Paul. So somebody does a belly flop.
I'm glad we skipped ahead. I'm glad we skipped ahead. So what happens is someone sits down and I just fucking put all my 300 pounds of beauty right on their face.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Squashing.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like that's like you can imagine that guy from the TLC doc, like just laying in bed.
Oh, he'd probably be all about it. He'd be all
like,
about it.
Crush me,
squashing,
crush me,
squashing was a game changer,
my love.
by far a game changer. Like especially after sushi night. Oh god, squashing. God. A good squashing.
Sometimes she shits herself. It's very magical.
No, I'm right up in there.
So hot, but yes, it definitely male, female, male to male, female to female. There's everything in between. It's a huge thing.
Okay, you said the word fat, and I feel
it is a huge thing. It's a huge thing.
Like that word has been kind of off limits for a while. But do you like that word? I mean, you said it a couple times. It makes me think with it, and it's something you're striving for. It's not a taboo word.
Saying the word fat is like saying the N word for black people. It's just like now they've taken the power back. They've taken the power back from it, and now that's something that other feeders and they give the F word pass to the FAs. They get a pass on that word.
In your community.
So fat and typically you're exactly right, is a very taboo word. You have to be very careful how you use it. But for me, like I want you to tell me I'm fat. I want you to tell me I'm huge. I meet
Well, tell that to my 4-year-old son. He's like, Dad, why are you so fat? I'm like, shut up. Actually, what did he say to me the other day? Why are you fat everywhere? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, son? I'm on the durian rider diet. What are you talking about?
Video recently. I went to the doctor and my doctor referred to me as a bariatric patient. And it was the hottest freaking thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. So
my doctor told me I'm going to die and this was unsafe. And I've never been more turned on. Never.
Did she say earlier in the interview that like as soon as we find out I'm in danger of tear, then we need to reassess the situation, right?
Well,
so after she's been working her for 20 minutes, now she's just like letting shit out, like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, these people are never like upfront. You gotta you have to be the kind of interviewer that lets people like lower their guard, feel like they're just having a normal conversation, and that's why you got to skip ahead to these kind of things, or at least sit through the whole thing, because that's when the revelations happen. Was when somebody's comfortable.
That's when they'll spill the juice. Well, good on you at Sharzad Kitty.
She's
our radiant princess.
Long haul.
And it was so hot. I made a video about it, and everyone else thought it was hot too. So all those terms, we get off on being called pigs and piggies, and some girls enjoy like messy eating, so calling them like a fat slob wouldn't be off limits. It's super hot to me.
she's like,
cool.
Fuck, I was just asking if you were okay with the word fat.
Yeah, you didn't have to volunteer all this stuff. Fat slob, Jesus Christ.
I want people to know about you.
What do I want people to know about me? I think I mainly, and one of the reasons why I was so pumped when you reached out to me is like, I would love to go back 3-4 years and have listened to someone like myself talking about all of this so positively. And I would love for people to know that you can have balance. Like you can have this, what feels like outrageous kink and still live a very normal.
No, you can't. Like your entire life revolves around this. She's talking about like eating fucking 6 donuts on her way to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Like that's not like that's not a fucking normal life.
No.
Oh yeah, I wish when I was younger, I wish I had somebody to gaslight me into thinking that like, oh, this is a route to happiness.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's
so
not.
Fuck.
It's not. Not my circle. Good job. Good job. Glad we did it.
Hold on. Come on, we're not done yet. This is Nightcap, baby.
Happy, healthy, successful life. I have a wonderful life outside of my kink and in conjunction with my kink. And I think I'd love for everyone to know that, because I do know there's like a lot of closeted feedies and feeders out there.
Yeah. I'm all for people doing what makes them happy. And you certainly look happy. And it sounds like everything you've been a part of as an adult has been a conscious decision for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I got to know what your favorite food is.
So I'm really into pizza and donuts. Those are my 2 most popular.
Wow.
Whoa, me too.
Whoa, let's hang out.
I love pizza and donuts too. I cannot believe this woman just being like, well, I think people should do whatever makes them happy. Oh, get fucked, dude. Just at least be like, well, maybe ask a question. Be
I
like,
would
are
say,
you sure?
Jars can the idea. Like she's not going for like Pulitzer Prize or anything, but goddamn, like, did she ask a fucking question at any time?
Like, she doesn't have to say like, oh, you're a disgusting hog beast. That's not what I'm saying. You can just ask about like the health, like, how can you possibly imagine that this is like a productive thing?
Like,
especially you're talking about like being an example for other younger girls or younger people that maybe are overweight, maybe insecure, and you want to let them know that like you can live this lifestyle, you'll be happy and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
No.
Can you walk me down through that thought process where you think it's okay for a man that you recently met online to control you in every aspect, from your diet to what you can reach, what you can't reach, to what they do to you after you climax? Like, can you walk me down that? Like, when did you think that's okay? Right. So like just stuff like that. That's not like insinuating. That's not like trying to start a fight. You're just asking her like honest question, and she goes on.
Because they would be like, oh, that's like anti-sex, that's kink shaming, because that's what like the BDSM community has really got their hooks into the social spheres about like, well, you're not allowed to like suggest or ask if this stuff is weird or if there's any pathology behind it. I mean, why do you think something like 50 Shades of Grey is like so popular? It's this way of like normalizing these relationships. And those stories, the 50 Shades of Grey ones, posits this world like, oh, if only the right woman came along, you'd be able to really like heal somebody like this. It's cool if you like it too. Like you could just incorporate it in a healthy way. It was unhealthy before he met you, but now that he's met you, it's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuffing foods, anything that I can eat in like mass quantities. So if I'm ordering takeout, if they have a family size option, that's what I'll get for myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really into cakes. So something I do whenever I'm even alone, actually, to be honest, is get like a whole sheet cake and then eat it on all fours, like a pig or a cow or something like that. It's so hot.
And you don't throw.
There's nothing mentally disturbed. Nothing totally strange. Oh yeah, no, I just get on all fours like an animal and degrade myself.
He could have come by myself.
I mean, what the fuck, dude?
I take off the hood of shame. I have no shame anymore. I
mean, seriously. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Like,
it's just like, you know how visual I am. All I can see is like Casey popping out of the screen. It's just doing that. Like, go to fishies, donuts.
Yeah, time to get on all fours and eat out of this bowl.
Usually not a hostess kind of gal. I'm usually an Edmonds, but
dude, get on all fours and eat a sheet cake like a pig, and then just and talk about it like, oh, isn't that funny? Isn't that cool? Isn't that funny?
Not usually this kind of gal.
Yeah, I don't usually do this stuff. ... in front of people.
What?
No, I never have actually. Believe it or not, I've never gotten sick to that point before. I have gotten like, you know, certain combinations of foods just don't belong together. And I definitely have gotten so full before where I regretted it the next day because I just couldn't move. Like I just couldn't not get out of bed to go to work. And so I've learned, you know, I do my big, I call them mega stuffings. I do my mega stuffings on Fridays and Saturdays, where it's basically just like wild eating, like mindless, shameless eating. And then during the week, it's more just maintenance. There's some days where I eat like you probably do, just like a normal person. But I found that, you know, a lot of my calories can be liquid calories. It doesn't have to be. I started gaining when I was in college, so there's frugal ways to do it for sure. Weight gain powder, heavy cream, melted ice cream, things like that are very helpful.
Do you ever drink alcohol?
Sometimes, yeah. I'm not a huge drinker just personally, but there's also like a lot of men who are really into like the alcohol bloats that women often get. And that's a lot of calories. So alcohol is certain.
What the fuck? And she circles back to this idea of doing it for somebody else.
Doing it for some man online.
Some dude like, oh yeah, they like that alcoholic bloat set.
And like, how fucked you gotta be? Like, there's particular bloat that I like. And, you know, when a woman, you get enough Heineken in her, oh my God, it just pumps out.
It's just
like you think, you know, 80 pieces of sushi and half a chocolate cake. You know, you think you get a good gloat right there, but no. Let me show you the beer gloat. Let me show you the beer gloat here. Like they got preferences on the like. Was it enhance the cellulite on this thing that you're going to fucking? This was a mistake. This was a mistake. This whole night was a mistake.
It helps, and it did a lot more in college.
I remember when I was on Weight Watchers, which I had been on and off since I was probably 19.
Privilege.
A mudslide alert was like the most high point. That's what you call it on Weight Watchers. High point you could ever eat. It was like 33 points. It was more points than you could have like in a whole day, or that you were supposed to have.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I just, when you were talking about funneling shakes and stuff, I kept thinking about mudslides and how they were so high in the Weight Watchers points. But when I think about alcohol and food together, I don't know. I have a sensitive stomach. I throw up so easily.
Yeah.
I threw up a lot when I was pregnant with my second. And so I'm just sensitive. So I find that interesting. Not everybody's a barfer like me.
Well, no, the thing is,
that's super interesting. It's super interesting that like somebody could eat themselves to that degree and not barf.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. Look at her sympathetic smile. She's just like, wow. This is what happens when a wine mom gets a podcast. Wow.
It's like when I was a smaller fat, when I first started gaining, I could not eat the way that I do now. Like I used to be I remember being so stuck. I was like, how the heck do women gain all this weight? Like I can't do it.
How do they
do it? It was so hard for me. But then as I got bigger and I kept going at it and my stomach stretched out.
Oh my gosh. She's like, this is like a child. She's like 2 weeks in. Like, how do they get to 500 pounds?
How do they do that?
And now she's like 2 years in. She's like, oh,
sticking to the plan. You know, like you'll get there. You'll get there, girl. Please.
Oh, now that she's 2 years in, she's like, oh, if you just keep doing it, you'll gain weight. Like, like, oh, I had a great metabolism and I destroyed it.
A little bit. And to be completely honest with you, like edibles make a huge difference in my appetite. So it's just using those wisely. But I will share with you, it's funny you mentioned the Weight Watchers point. So are you familiar with MyFitnessPal?
Yes.
Where you can track calories. So most people, track calories to get to like a negative loss, but myself and a lot of other feedies will use that app to gain weight. And there's a lot of like if I take a screenshot of it and say post it to my friends, like they think it's the hottest thing in the entire world. Like seeing what I eat in a day and what that final tally is, like that is like a drug to them. I think it's so hot to see that.
And you think it's a drug as well. Well,
All
you're
right.
getting the same rush that they're getting, the same sense of validation,
Yep.
actually probably even deeper because it becomes purpose, it becomes identity.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
This is dark. This is really dark.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many calories then would you say?
So during the week, probably
Stop. How many?
How many calories in a week? 11,000?
11,000?
12,000?
The rookie numbers, man. She's going to say something between 30 to 40.
That's a lot. Dude, that's a lot, man.
Let's hear it.
Minimum probably 6,000 calories a day.
Okay.
On the weekends, it's impossible to keep count. Like I've done like 20K calorie challenges before. This past weekend, I was challenged to consume 40,000 calories between Saturday and Sunday through shakes, which I did, and I thought I was going to die after.
I fucking crushed it, of course. I'm an athlete. I'm a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Completely honest, but it was really hot and fun to push myself to a new limit because now my metabolism has really adjusted to my diet. So gaining weight as you get bigger just gets a little bit harder.
Interesting.
The struggle is real. Mm-hmm. The struggle is real.
Well, Casey, thank you so much for taking the time to.
Wow. That was that, Paul.
Yeah.
Dear God, that was actually, it was kind of sad.
But I think you're right, though. It definitely was dark because you kept seeing her referencing what she does to lure in and keep relevant in this community.
Yeah.
Right? What she does to herself and then everything. And then what she admits out loud to doing by herself, too. Like, it was just really unsettling. Really unsettling. So.
Yeah, exactly, because it becomes part of this this validation cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it's about. It really has nothing to do with weight gain or whatever. It's a way to feel wanted and validated constantly because a niche community like that is going to do nothing but do that. They're going to do nothing but positively reinforce a behavior, which is something that, most people, that's a hard thing to come by for anybody. Doing any type of thing to get validation, to get somebody to be like, hey, you did a good job. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tough thing. But if you find a niche where the only thing they care about is how many calories you took in this week.
Yeah.
Well, that's an achievable goal. It's something that that you can do.
Well, yeah, it's simpler though. Because we made some jokes earlier, but we were only half joking about well, if you don't have a personality, this is what you go, right? The opposite end of like a hot bimbo with no brains, but now you have this where you find your market and then you stick to it, and that's all you contribute it to. So it's just completely, it's just so sad, man. It's so sad.
Oh yeah, just nothing but Nightcap bringing the joy into the world. All right, so do we want to do the tarot card reader? Or do we want to skip to the French one? The dominant nurse for the obese boy.
Yeah, let's get into some shaming now because we did a lot of positivity, right? We did a lot of primer. Let's get into shame.
So let's see the shame side, which also obviously kind of ends up having the same result because people just get off on the shame, which is something that Casey herself kind of acknowledged, right?
Yeah, and the
being
comment sections that you get being called a fat slob,
etc. They have taken the power back from those terms and they've turned it into something positive for themselves. So when somebody says something negative to you because you're outside of the norm, it's looked at as a positive affirmation of behavior, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what the French have to say. So this is dominant nurse for the big-bellied boy. Your obese little self better lay low.
Vous êtes un gros porc.
Oh, you are a fat hog. I don't know why are the subtitles not in English. Hold on. Auto-generated. They don't even have them in English? English, there it is. Come on now.
Ça vous surprend? Regardez-vous. Avec votre ventre qui pend, vous êtes tout essoufflé alors que vous n'avez rien fait. On vient juste de prendre vos mesures pour calculer votre IMC, votre indice de masse corporelle. Vous n'avez rien fait. Vous êtes juste là à exister. Vous êtes hors de souffle. Vous êtes un gros porc. Ceci dit, un peu de professionnalisme, évidemment.
Stay professional.
J'ai été assigné votre cas. Votre cas est sans précédent.
I love it because the setup is like, well, you're the fattest person I've ever seen. Don't you look at your tiny dick?
Mm-hmm.
I'd let her tell me I was fat. Like, it's cool. Like, is there some sort of a happy ending at the end of this? You can say whatever you want. I'm cool with that.
Être fier de vous. Je dois vous faire maigrir, et cela rapidement. Cela ne m'enchante guère.
She's not pleased.
Je pense personnellement que vous êtes un cas désespéré. Vous êtes obèse, et vous allez rester obèse. Ceci dit, c'est mon métier, et donc il m'a été demandé d'employer une méthode qui est une méthode douce, employant de la...
Like, how do you end up here? So she's like a model or something.
Yeah.
And like, what has happened in your career where you end up here, where you're behind this
curtain,
this blanket, where I could see the rest of whatever weird studio you're in, probably some weird pornographer, maybe Pierre Woodman.
Yeah.
And and now this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing.
We got bills to pay, man.
I know everybody's got bills to pay, but I just wonder the sequence of events that leads up to this. Like, obviously, a very attractive, beautiful girl, which, they're out there. Guys, they're out there, the pornography, whatnot. She could be into porn. She could be doing whatever. But this is where she ends up being a fat shamer for fat guys to watch and get off on.
Right. Or maybe she's the entire production budget for the set, and that's why there's a backdrop.
Yeah, it was all that hair dye, that costume. Like, these things aren't cheap.
They spent all the money. They spent all the money on the talent, and then like, shit, we need a backdrop.
Yeah, we have about $250.
Francois, get that sheet with all the buildings and throw it up the air.
Francois, you buy those stupid breed, the baguettes. What are you doing? No. She's skinny, Francois.
Francois.
La psychologie. Par exemple, comprendre pourquoi est-ce que vous vous laissez aller autant. J'aurais tendance à avoir une méthode plus directe, plus brutale. J'aurais tendance à vous faire manger beaucoup plus, encore et encore. Parce que de toute façon, c'est ce que vous voulez. Donc, autant vous laisser aller. Mais bon. Professionnalisme. Je ne pense pas que des gens...
See, if this was her in her normal circumstances, she would encourage you. She would say, "Oh, be a big fat hog," but she's in a professional situation, okay? So she can't do this. Is a health professional. Clearly, she's wearing a nurse's outfit.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't like people like you. Don't
think
that
vous
people like
devriez exister.
She wants it. She's just like, I'm in love. I feel like she's talking to me. She's like, Sean, I would let you just do whatever you want, but seriously, we have to have children and a beautiful family in some sort of French village somewhere. And I can't have you being like this. I can't. You're not going to be alive for us.
Mais c'est un challenge et je vais essayer de vous faire maigrir. Mais pour cela, j'ai besoin de vous poser quelques questions. Qu'est-ce que vous ressentez quand vous mangez? Est-ce que vous ressentez du plaisir sexuel quand vous vous engraissez? Quand vous sentez votre corps s'étendre, se détendre en quelque sorte? Est-ce que c'est lié à un plaisir sexuel, dites-moi? Parce que j'ai l'impression que vous êtes comment dire ça? Un petit porc tout excité quand il est en train de manger. Regardez, par exemple, si je vous apporte une barre chocolatée, je vois que votre petit pathétique souffle, votre petite pathétique respiration s'accélère. C'est d'ailleurs dégoûtant. Vous êtes déjà en train de suer de manière en confusion.
Just at the mention of a chocolate bar, you're already fucking just a hog.
Mais regardez-moi ça, vous ne faites rien. Vous ne faites rien, vous êtes juste en train d'exister, de respirer, et vous êtes complètement hors de souffle. Comment est-ce possible? Comment vous vous laissez aller autant? Oui, j'aurais tendance à insister là-dessus. Vous voulez devenir plus gros? Eh ben, allez-y. Engraissez. Je vais vous ramener des barres chocolatées et je vais vous observer. Est-ce que ça vous exciterait?
Yeah, I would.
C'est ça que t'aimes alors? C'est ça que tu veux?
Yes.
Tu veux que je te regarde en train de t'engraisser?
I want you to watch. Yeah.
Actually, yes, I do. Honestly, I would. You watch me eat all of these Nutri-Grain bars.
Keep it rolling.
En train de grossir. Ah, je vois que ça t'excite. Il y a donc des termes, un certain vocabulaire à ça, lié à ça. Intéressant.
Interesting.
Est-ce que c'est une forme de fétiche en
This is
quelque
very
sorte?
academic.
Tu ne vois donc pas de problème à ce que je joue un peu avec toi?
Oh.
Gros porc.
Oh, play with me, you say?
Fat hog, call me
Je
again.
t'emmène des barres chocolatées et te nourrir.
So this is what the French
tu
think
veux
fat
de la
people like.
chantilly,
I'll bring you
peut-être?
chocolate bars.
I guess. Well, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And in America, we're like, "What are you talking about? Chocolate? Bring me a pizza. Bring me a hoagie. Bring me something with goddamn
chocolate.
substance to it. Bring me this little chocolate bar, like I'm a little Sally. No. Bring me pizzas. Bring me hoagies. Bring me hot dogs.
Des choses bien grasses, bien sucrées. Tu aimerais ça?
It just reminds me of the Monty Python, The Meaning of Life. Would you like a after dinner aperitif? It's only wafer thin. Like later, medical home visit.
Oh shit!
Now that we're in a fat coma.
Où tu crois vraiment?
She's like,
sheet in the background.
She's like, things have gotten bad, and now we're in Japan.
Que tu peux te taper la sexy petite infirmière que je suis?
What? Yes, I could.
Non, gros tas. Tu n'es qu'un patient.
Oh.
Je suis supposée te faire maigrir, c'est vrai. Tu te poses peut-être la question, effectivement, pourquoi est-ce que je t'engraisse du coup? Mais c'est simple. Parce que j'ai qu'à dire à mes supérieurs, ils pouvaient pas s'en empêcher. J'ai tout fait pour, j'ai tout essayé.
So this is just job security for the nurse. She's like, no, I had to tell them that you kept getting fat, and I need to keep trying to help you. We got to be out there fighting the good fight.
Il n'arrivait pas à maigrir. Tu vois où je veux en venir? Oui, je le fais exprès. Je te fais grossir parce que ça m'amuse, tout simplement. Parce que je vois à quel point ça t'excite. Et ça t'excite de me voir, moi, la petite infirmière, qui est là pour toi, qui est là pour t'aider, justement, te descendre encore plus. Tu aimes ça?
I feel like we're about to enter into the movie Hostel. It's gonna be something like that. Like we're just getting ready we're being buttered up to go to the torture chamber.
Yep.
Oui, tu peux cacher ton érection. Gros porc.
Oh my goodness. She comes in with a fat hog.
Oh, best video of the night by far.
Is this a real thing?
Yeah, man. I went on there. I think I gave you another one on that too. Another like quickie, but
You
like
did, yeah.
they're like, and that one should be American.
So she does like vlogs and stuff as well. Yeah. Let me see here. Do I want to see more of her? Of course I do. I'm a sick man. Says weight gain, humiliation. Oh, this is a different one. Weight gain, humiliation, hopelessly addicted. Well, let's see. See what the little angel has to say. Addicted.
Oh my god, a piggy. Is that even you?
Yeah, it's me. It's me.
Yes, I'm here.
What happened?
I ate.
I had to work
lot.
late. I had to work late.
I
Sorry.
ate so much.
You're completely addicted to this
I am.
feeling now. Aren't you picky?
Yeah.
Nod your head
Yes.
yes for me.
Yes.
Yes.
Completely helpless.
I am.
Practically drowning in a pool of your own gluttony.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oink. Oink.
Dude, oh my god. Oh my god. I need to see the person that watches this. Like sincerely watches it. Like watches it in earnest, like this is something that they do, this is something they want to experience. Who the fuck would watch this?
Somebody like getting ready to spank bank, man. Like this
Well,
is
dude,
spank
I've
bank.
been ready to be spanked back all the time. I don't go to fucking some weird videos like this to get me over.
Hey, well, because you haven't been doing it long enough, apparently. Because like
guess
sometimes certain things, certain categories get stale for you, and you look for other categories. You look for other categories. And at some point, because this big mistake called the internet, we wound up here. Oink oink, hit play.
Oink oink.
Because I want a coom on this nightcap. Hit that play button.
You know, you didn't have to let yourself get this big. You could have stopped at any point.
I can't stop.
I guess so. You're right.
But instead, you gave in.
I did.
Aw, pathetic.
I am pathetic.
What is it exactly? Is it feeling yourself begin to swell up?
You're making me swell up.
Like we're I'm getting swole. I can feel blood rushing.
Oh god.
Again, I have to ask, even from this girl's perspective, like, how do you find yourself here?
Right.
How does this become a viable thing? You're like, yeah, I'm going to make this YouTube video.
She's probably in the community, Sean. She's probably a fetus.
Well, she could. I think it seems like she might be just in like the dominatrix community.
Mm-hmm.
This would be like a dominatrix thing, right?
Yeah, like a request. Like, oh, okay.
Or like, you know how like apparently it's pretty common for like very powerful rich men to engage in BDSM, like to like be humiliated. They want to like go and get humiliated. It's like a whole documentary about it. It's like a madam in New York City, and she runs like a BDSM like brothel basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all of her clientele are like very rich, very well like powerful people. Because you would have to be to afford their services.
Right.
You know, we're talking like, $10,000-$30,000 a visit.
Wow.
We're not talking about like, $500, me and my buddies got drunk.
Yeah. No, you're talking about a pre-planned.
Tighter and tighter. Rounder and rounder, like a cute little blimp.
I'll be your Hindenburg.
I hope this doesn't awaken something inside of me, deep dormant. Just like, fuck. I guess I'm gonna just be a giant fat guy now. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking with beautiful women like this. Come on.
Or is it the way that your belly hangs now? Wobbling with each and every step you take.
Go ahead. Eat another
Come
chicken wing,
on,
please.
fatty. What are you doing to your body?
I'm eating. I'm eating so much.
Cumin.
Packing yourself
cumin.
full with thousands and thousands of calories. Like pigging out is your second nature. That's one thing. I bet you couldn't stop gaining if you tried.
It was kill me because these pauses, right, are intended for them to catch up or slow down wherever they are in their space. And I can't stop thinking about that. She's doing that. That's
no, well, that's where your mind goes. You go to the person watching it. We're not really taking in what this person's doing. All you can imagine is the person who would watch this, which is apparently us. So.
Hey, she's getting a solid Zoobox number from us.
Yeah, solid Zoobox numbers.
Really, no, you couldn't. Someone is completely programmed to be my pathetic, mindless hog.
That's me. Pick me. Pick me. Pick me.
To be filled.
Yes.
Hopelessly
with mayonnaise.
Addicted.
Jesus Christ. And then Glenn Greenwald shows up. The fuck? Let's see if we can find some comments here. Okay, so this video has I'll share the screen. This video has 17,874 views, 235 likes. Enchantress has 4.75k subs just for fun. Phoebe Enchantress.
Read that top one. Just happened to be eating brownies in bed when this came on. Have to admit, you really sell it. Listen to you is dangerous to my waistline, without a doubt.
Without a doubt, bro.
27 likes.
This makes me overthink my plan to lose weight and just stuff myself with fast food for the goddess. Whoa, this made me want to stuff my face immediately. Love your voice, by the way. Love it. Really nice job. Do you do custom videos? I would happily pay. You are amazing. She responds, hey, thanks for expressing interest. I do. You can email me at honeybeehypnosis@gmail.com for more information.
We got to write that down.
Honeybee Hypnosis.
Honeybee Hypnosis. Hold up.
But dude, it's not going to be cheap. I can guarantee that. Listen while cooking and eating. What does this one do? Goddess. Oh, your feedy roll video disappeared. Lies. James at the bottom just says lies. He's like, I've been burned by you before. I'm gonna check out. Let's check out what else she has on her channel. I'm very curious. 2 weeks ago. Okay, so that one you gave me was from 9 months ago. Holy shit!
What?
Oh,
what's up?
Funnel feeding my feedy.
Oh my god, we have to. It's so contextual.
Do Dude, we have to.
We have to do this one.
We have to. We don't have a choice. Oh my fucking God, Paul. Oh my fucking God. Dude, look at this shit. Okay. A funnel is being inserted into his throat. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. The guy is making the same sounds. So like, well, my wife sounds like when she's sucking my dick. But like she's being fed like a banana ice cream thing. Jesus Christ.
What a shame's coming on.
You got this. You got this, my boy. you fucking bastard. You big bastard. What the fuck? Whoa.
He expanded.
Dude, this is on YouTube.
Wow.
Your kids could be the Roblox video. And then suddenly they're at the seductress.
You look so big right now.
It's like, stop patting my stomach.
Feels so tight.
This is like a new homeless person, before they start smelling like shit. He's like a new fat person. Like he's just getting into the fatness right now.
Right.
He has not, he's not ascended.
No, he's skinny fat right now.
Yeah. What the fuck, Paul? You gotta give him the nipple shake. Oh.
Can't get the right one.
Like, what is he getting? Like, I mean, let's look down here. Does he even have a boner? Like, what is going? Like, what are you getting out of this?
Central overload.
Maybe sensual overload, sensory overload.
Mm-hmm.
It's psychological. It's not physical. It's mental. It's esoteric.
You look so good like this.
Whoa, getting in on the thigh. Oh, get another bucket. Get another bucket, please. Fill me like
What
the
the
fat.
What?
Well, man,
what?
This has just been extremely crazy. We got academic with this one.
Stuffing my boyfriend into oblivion.
Is it a short one?
Yeah, it's 1 minute 10. Whoa. And then she does all these videos, 59 seconds of my life, 66 seconds of my life. All right, let's watch her stuff her boyfriend into oblivion, and then we're going to watch.
She might render a follow-up, Sean. She might be a follow-up for you.
Yeah, we might have to go deeper. Okay, so I think this is the same guy, tattoo-wise, right? I saw that guy's tattoos.
Yeah, that's whatever.
Oh, she's also pleasantly plump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's just shaking his fat at us.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's an empty stomach waiting to be filled by a funnel. A funnel.
Mm-hmm.
Where are these women? Where are these women? Find me one.
They're on Reddit. She's like a mod of several different subreddits that keep banning me. I want my belly rubbed. I want to be like a big old teddy
He's
bear.
in pain. He's in pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's soothing him. You fat slut. Just
So weird.
Just fucking get in that belly button. Get in those guts. This is. There it is, Sean. There it is. There it is.
That's what we've been missing out on our whole lives. We've been missing out on that. All right, let's see who she is, though. She does show her face.
Do we want to see it, though, or do we want to live with the,
No, we
the
gotta
unknown?
see, Paul. Paul, we gotta see, dude. What are you talking about? We're on an
We
exploratory
do it
mission.
For the nightcaps. We do it for the
This is fucking
nightcaps.
exploratory mission. This is not for your spank pack. Oh shit, black hole, son. Well, she might actually get this blocked, so we're gonna mute the music. 66 seconds of my life. Wow. She does a couple things.
So where do you think she is? And it looks like Northwest.
Yeah, Seattle. I'm gonna say Seattle. There's such a weird world out there, man. Like,
Yeah.
There's so much weird shit out there.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, the baby ducks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad she saw the baby ducks. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, we
That's
got that in.
amazing.
It's so that was a journey. That was a hard left turn.
Not really. I mean, that was a good follow up to the interview we watched with Casey, because you're kind of just like seeing what some of the aspects of that community are like.
Yeah, for sure.
They're always saying like, oh no, it's not that weird, it's not that strange.
Yeah. Do they have anything more artistic
on hers?
No. Just in general from this community.
Oh yeah, no, we got a little short film. This is from 2017. It's called Eater. This is what we're going to end the night with. We're going to end the night with this little short film. See how it goes. Neither of us have watched this, so we have no idea what we're getting into. Let's find out. Let's see. We're going to learn together. As is Nightcap tradition, we're all in this together. Hold tight. Hold tight and just believe.
Mm-hmm.
Gen Y Films.
Yeah, buddy. What we got going on there? A heart?
We got a heart, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's heart meat. This is not vegan friendly.
No, Nico would not approve.
After watching all this vegan content, this is pretty abrasive.
Yeah, I'm actually disgusted.
Horrors du jour.
No garnish? You goddamn savage. This is evil.
These people eat heart like I eat steak. Just on the plate, nothing else. Oh yeah, my favorite sound, people eating. Or she was just somebody like, "Good day, Governor. Heard you like heart meats."
Dun, dun, dun,
I don't
dun,
believe
dun,
that she's
dun,
not like
dun.
a. I mean, is she gonna be a FA, a feeder? She's not a feedee,
I
obviously.
guess we'll find out, but jackets can be misleading.
Some continuity errors.
Yeah.
She's getting panicked. She's getting afraid. This guy is up to no good.
No.
She's just like, where are the fat people?
You know, and this is what we do. When we're running in the dark, I want to go to the nearest cemetery.
Where safety is. Nobody alive to assault me. Oh my.
We need to hire their folio artist.
How's that smell?
How's that smell?
How does that
dog
smell?
Shit. I smell like dog shit. Too much cutting. Too much cutting. I feel like if this had played out in like a couple shots, like 3 shots, much more effective. Much more effective.
But how about that Skeletor like esque voice? How's that smell? I'm getting it right next to the kill.
Nice deep breath. Relax.
What an inconvenient place to.
Oh yeah, you gotta be eating SpaghettiOs tonight, girl.
Yeah, look at all that dragging you gotta do now.
Oh my.
Whoa. Transition.
He's like, hello, I'm an FA. Not an FFA, but an FA. I'm also a samurai.
Hello.
Where am I? Why are you doing this?
You're in the basement at my mom's house.
We can fix this, okay? My dad has money, okay?
Oh no. Your dad can't save you. You're gonna be here for a long, long time.
Oh my gosh,
Shh. Don't worry.
please let me go.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You're gonna be really comfortable here.
Gonna eat some hot dogs, dude.
Hope you like chicken. Everybody likes chicken. Let's see what we got here. Mashed potatoes and gravy. A little coleslaw.
Ooh. Start slowly.
King's cut nugget.
Now eat.
Eat the nugget. Eat the nugget.
Oh, you'll eat.
Eat this.
He's getting displeased.
She's watching her weight, dude. She's watching her figure. What are you doing?
You naughty little girl. Now you listen to me. You're in my care. You can't get away. I think you'd better do what I say.
Well, it sounds like sound advice. I mean, what's the alternative here?
Is she vegetarian? What are you talking? It's just a fucking chicken leg. You're not gonna be like
She probably
coughing and
doesn't eat
choking.
deep fried foods, Sean. Okay.
Have you seen that body?
That's a good little girl. You're okay.
How much dedication do you have to the role, madam?
Mm-hmm. Oh, airplane move.
That's a good girl.
I mean, at some point, you're just gonna be like, "Yeah, dude, fried chicken rules."
Please, I can't eat anymore. I can't eat anymore.
You were gonna eat all your food. You naughty little girl. What, Mama?
Oh my God, someone there! I'm being held captive! Help,
It's a video I'm watching.
Nothing. I'm just watching anime. It's called anime, Mama. It's a wonderful art form.
Whatever deranged ding-dong crap you want. I just wanted to let you know that dinner's ready. I made meatloaf.
I'm fine, Mama.
Made that damn meatloaf because it's your favorite. Don't you insult my cooking. Get the hell up here and eat it.
All right, Mama. I'll be up in 5.
Whatever. It's already getting cold.
I gotta go soon. We can make this really easy. Or we can make this really hard.
I'm already hard.
Nice and easy.
Continuity here is all over the place. Okay, he had mac and cheese, and then we cut to this POV, and there's mashed potatoes. What's going on?
Beginning to think this is kind of amateurish.
Well, it looks like a college film or something like that, right?
Day 2.
Obviously, a little self-aware.
Oh, 2 pounds.
Breakfast time, cutie pie.
He's wearing a nice helmet.
No, dude, he should have said "me lady." He should have been.
He
like,
should have. He should. Well, that's another continuity there. Yeah. Hello, me lady.
Pancakes here. Bacon, sausage. Hope you're hungry. What do you want to watch?
Naruto,
Some anime.
some Berserk. It's
Did
like,
you know all cartoons are technically anime? There she is. Good, right? Don't lose it.
just be turned on. Get it, son.
Do you like my helmet? Do I look cool?
It's time. Thank you. Jaggers. Stop choking! Ah! Ice cream! Delicious, right? Peanut butter. I picked out your favorite.
Should have melted that shit in the microwave, man.
What are you upset for? What is the matter with you?
Gotta get yourself a funnel. You know what I mean? Do it right.
Yeah.
I thought feed you the pizza. Eat, not shove.
Well, you know, he's giving her variety.
Whoopsie.
There's some inventive stuff here. Like there's like obviously they're making a low budget film here.
Mhm. Chuck.
Open up. Come on. Now they say Twinkies will survive a nuclear holocaust. That's about how long you're gonna be here.
That would be a real bummer, That would be a real bummer if you're kidnapped by a psycho that just wants to do this to you. That'd be a real bummer, Remember the beginning? Remember the first sin in the movie Seven? Gluttony.
Yeah.
The guy that was fed spaghetti till he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what. And definitely.
That's what's going to happen.
Day 40.
Natalie's weight. I'm a bear.
Looks like you got a little something brewing here.
It ain't my baby.
Fuck.
It's a food baby.
Oh. Nice piece of work, cutie pie. Better?
Are you letting me go?
Yeah, it's time. Not quite. But I'm gonna let you move about the room now. Get you some new clothes soon. You can sit and sleep on my couch. And the remote, all yours.
No more anime.
Oopsie daisy. Look at you. You can barely stand up.
It's like you've been chained for 4 days on this chair.
I know you've endured a grisly experience.
Fuck you! I will fucking kill you, you sick freak! I want to watch you die!
No, you don't.
You just want another Big Mac.
Chinese today.
Don't kill me. I was going to get your Chinese.
If I'm dead, you won't get any crab rangoon.
What?
This would be my exact response. I just let go of his neck. I'd be like, okay, fine. One more day. Crab rangoons, you say? Good crab rangoons? Wild stuff.
The different costume every day is a nice thing.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas! You are gonna get something horrible from me.
Wings?
You.
I don't want wings. It's Tuesday.
These fucking girls, dude.
Well, excuse the fuck out of me. I am the one keeping you alive here, you know.
Are you kidding me? Only thing I gotta do to end this sick little game you got going on is just run up there and tell Mama. So don't you dare.
So now who really is imprisoned? Because now she's going to start making demands. He brings her wings. He says, oh, you should be happy. I brought you wings. She's like, I'm not in the mood. If you don't give me something better.
It's Tuesday. It's taco night. You're the one that set this precedent. Stop acting like a dick about it.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, the script has been flipped.
What, Mama?
You've been down there way too much. What the hell are you doing? You need to stop watching all that Japanesey shit.
I'm working on my art, Mama!
You mean that fat cartoon girl art you make?
Hell yeah.
Hey! I make commissions all the time! And those pay a few $100 a pop!
I made you big mac and cheese with bacon, Timothy. Get up here right now.
Mac and cheese. Okay. Sorry, sweetie. Mama needs me.
Got a blast. What could it mean? The American flag flapping in the wind? Oh, indulgence, consumerism. Awful, evil stuff.
Now we're getting to some respectable weight here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because now we're getting into like YouTube foodie areas, right? Where they like drown giant lobster claws in butter. Have you seen those videos?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, it gets wild. It gets crazy.
You appreciate me.
Power Ranger.
Yeah, he's the Red Ranger, the leader.
306. He's let his guard down. This isn't good.
She's trying to feed you.
Yeah.
Is she gonna stop and just eat the rest of her meal? No.
He's got one of those.
No, it's me. It's
Label.
Natalie. I've been here for years. Len, you have to understand. He held me hostage for years.
Took you hostage? No, he didn't. My son just sits around all day watching that ching chong ding dong cartoon shit, eats, and hires whores. He doesn't have an aggressive bone in his body. So my son likes his horse fat, eh? Whoring with the alimony payments I get? What are you waiting for? Run away, you fat slut! Get the hell out of my house! Hey!
The mama simulator.
Hell away from me! I'm calling the police!
What the fuck is going on?
Oh, she's going back down. Get out of my way, inflammable guy.
Oh, his mom's in the bathtub.
Ah,
Dead.
Checks out.
He was crazy. Who would have thought?
Back where we started.
Some guy should run up to her and be like, "Hey, can I jerk off to you now? Would you like to get me to get you a Big Mac?" Society's not so kind to the feedee. Well, she at least she should eat them, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Chuck Palahniuk write this? Ugh.
He got a chef hat.
Oh, it's a pretty big dick.
There we
Written
go.
directed by J.L. Carozzo. Let's see.
There we go.
I'll give him his credits here. Well, what the fuck did you find that?
Well, it's like when you get into space and you go down that rabbit hole, you find everything. But not for nothing. That touched on everything that we watched up prior to this point and read about to this point. Talking about the
yeah, for sure.
The attraction of fetus, the psychological games that go on, the elements of control. It kind of really wrapped up everything that we talked about.
That's very true. And this guy has got his own channel. It's called J.L. Carozza, Carrozza. If anybody wants to go check out the rest of his stuff, he's got other short films up until about up until about a year ago. I'll give him a sub. He's got Zoobox sub numbers. Eater, that short film we just watched, is his highest viewed video. But he's got a lot of stuff, a lot of short films from over the years. So what would you say? How would you rank it, like in the short film world?
Well, I haven't seen anything recently like to compare it to, but I mean, like, what was his objective? What's it meant, right? They get a reaction out of you, like, I mean,
sure.
So,
I think it could have been a 15-minute short and done the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't need to be 26 minutes or however long it was, like 26:39. I feel like you could have done that in a hot 15 minutes and probably would have been actually more effective.
Right.
It's just too much. It's just too much of the same thing, like over and over and over again. Which, hey, listen, there's some fun tricks in there. There's some fun filmmaking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a goofy little short film.
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due.
No, absolutely. I'm sure he learned a lot. Learned a lot from that whole process.
Oh yeah.
But for Nightcap purposes, I'm very satisfied with it because all I could think about is just the conversations from the other videos that we saw and everything that inferred that it was all wrapped up like in there.
A solid closer, as they say. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It's been fun. Learn about FAs, FFAs, feeders, feedies, the whole gamut. You've learned about the feeder community. What a wonderful gift! What a wonderful gift that's been given to you. What a wonderful gift.
Mm-hmm. In the midst of Lent, no less.
Yeah. So stay tuned to the channel. If you're watching this, there is a archive of this on Zoobox Forever right now. Right now, there's an archive. You can go on Zoobox Forever. As soon as we stop broadcasting, there'll be a version on Zoobox Forever. Probably be a clip or something on Zoobox Regular, the regular Zoobox channel.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys next time. Whenever that is, whatever that ends up being. It's going to be a night for weirdness. Whatever it is. Going to get to the back rooms on Friday night. It's going to be fun. Goodbye. Just fucking goodbye. I don't know what to say.
Where do you go from that?
Just say goodbye. Just say goodbye. Goodbye.
Good